the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Oh!
Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast. This is episode 1181. We're just flying through them. I remember when we were in the triple digits for the longest time.
I remember episode 1 when we changed the name from No Bullshit Podcast to Drunken
That was
Peasants.
your idea.
Yeah.
That was your idea to do that.
I was like, you know, this No Bullshit thing, that's better off for like an alt-right weirdo. And we're not a alt-right
That did happen,
podcast.
actually.
Oops.
Everyone, please like the stream. Liking the stream helps us out tremendously. You have no idea. Also, if you want to get a little extra content at no additional charge, please check out the audio version of the show wherever you get your podcasts, because we do a pre-show. It's usually like, 5, 10, 15 minutes long. And we just did a little bit, and we talked about interesting topics. I don't want to spoil it, but you should go download it. You should go there now and subscribe on iTunes or wherever else you get podcasts.
Today's pre-show was titled 7 Minutes in Heaven.
You're giving away too much. You're giving away too much.
Just the tip.
Giving away too much. Yeah, so a lot happened in the news today. We'll get to it in just a moment. We've got our Patreon guest, Josh, here. What's up?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
I'll have you guys know I told a really cool story in the pre-show. Go check it out if you want to know more about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a quality pre-show.
They'll probably never find the body. Yeah, so it's a Saturday or a Monday. It's a Monday. We don't normally stream on Mondays.
It's a super special Monday. If you're here and you're not usually here live, what a good time it would be to throw a Streamlabs donation to help us kickstart our goal.
Yeah, because we're doing it 1, 2, 3 really quick, and then we're doing the private show on Thursday. So we could use all the help you can give.
God gave you opposable thumbs. Use them to thumb that like button.
Yeah, so I am going to get right into the news of the day.
A lot of stuff happened here after the Fox News Dominion fallout.
The news is about the news.
Well,
isn't that weird? It's like newsception.
It's about time somebody calls out the news for being news.
There's a bunch of people whining about how I originally titled the stream and the thumbnail, because I put that Tucker Carlson quit, which is technically true. He was forced to resign, which is like, it's supposed to be better than getting fired, because then you, like, on your resume, you can say you quit. But yeah, it was a forced resignation. Essentially being fired.
You think he's going to follow the path of Anthony Cumia or something?
No, I don't think he'll go down that road. He'll probably do the independent thing. He'll probably start a podcast, and all the, Tucker simps will follow him there. That's basically what I see happening.
Was he originally on MSNBC?
He was all over, because he was on Crossfire too.
I remember Crossfire,
which was on CNN.
That was CNN. Okay.
Yeah, like he had been all over, but and he got more and more radical when he took Bill O'Reilly's spot.
He was always a smarmy little prick.
He was, but he wasn't as radical. Like he was smarmy. That was his demeanor, but he wasn't as. He became more and more radical.
They were like, "Hey Tucker, you want to come to Fox and let your balls hang?"
Yeah, and to appeal to the Fox News audience, which are mostly Trumpers, he had to go balls deep in the whole Trump thing. But all of the leaked text messages indicate that Tucker didn't like Trump at all behind the scenes. But he was Trump's biggest cheerleader when the camera was on.
I wonder if that has something to do with him getting let go. If they're going to make a deal with Trump.
No, they're not gonna make it. Well, they're hoping.
Here's some money for the sweet boys, Ben and Billy. You
Ooh,
rock.
Logic Blaster.
Yeah,
And Josh.
And Josh. Well, the money's not for you, Josh. I'm sorry to say.
Well, I still rock.
No, you rock. Josh, you rock.
Thank you.
Ben Papers and I scissor.
That's fine, Simple Country. You can say whatever you'd like. I'm gonna take the high road here. In fact, so
I don't know why.
Do whatever you wish.
Why is he polishing up his video for you?
I know that's racist. I think. I do believe that's racist.
Every time I write Polish,
it is
I
the same
read it
spelling.
as Polish, and I'm like, I can't. Like, there's all these times where I want to be like, polish my knob when I talk to girls.
You polish it,
but I don't want to polish it because I'm not even sure what polishing a knob means. What if it's a bad thing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. There was this restaurant at the top of this mountain that I would go to sometimes when I lived in New Mexico, and there was a sign because it was near a ski area, and the sign said "No poles allowed."
Did you feel like defiant when you walked in?
They meant ski poles, but it was hilarious. Like I was like, "Mom, look, you're not welcome here."
Mom, you're gonna have to wait outside.
Yeah.
Is there like a goy or something for Polish to non-Poles?
I mean, no.
Yeah.
Because that's like a religion versus like a nationality.
Well, they have like gaijins in Japan.
May I say it here?
A huge announcement.
No spoilers. No spoil. Why do you want to? Egghead cannot resist it. He cannot resist it. Like when someone famous dies, he has to tell everybody. And when something big happens in wrestling, he has to be the one to like let everybody know. They can't watch it on their own. They have to hear it from Egghead for some reason.
Well, whatever the Polish equivalent of gaijin or goy is,
there's not.
You could be like,
there's plenty of Jewish Polish people. That's in fact like the like 0.1% or whatever. Actually, I think it is like 1% of my ancestry DNA test that's Jewish came from Eastern Europe, from Poland. So
yeah,
there's no equivalent because you're comparing two things that are completely different.
Well, it's like something that marks somebody as not what they are, right? Like not. It's goy gaijin in Japan. A gaijin is an outsider. Like whatever the outsider
like
of
the
Polish
Polish word for foreigner. Is that what you mean?
Maybe, yeah. If
I'm sure there's a word for it. I don't know it. But
if there
that's
is
not the
one.
same as like goy. Goy just is like non-Jewish person. You know, it's like a different thing.
Gaijin is similar. It's just a way to differentiate you from the crowd, and then you could say whatever that is. You'd be like, "Mom, I'm that passing. I can go in, but you have to wait out here." That was a long way around for me to make that joke. I need to study up on my Polish terminology so that I don't have to take these long trips every time I try and make a Polish joke.
Yeah, because you shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't take a long trip. No,
I don't know. I've heard a lot about traveling through Poland. It's
from who? Nobody. You'll make a completely irrelevant point and like argue it into the ground.
My boy Marco Polo says that there's no
Marco Polo.
He says there's no quick way through Poland.
I don't think he went through Poland. Poland's like almost completely landlocked.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that's why they call it Poland, because it's from Polo Land. Marco Polo Land. Did you discover it? The Polish? Because Pololish doesn't roll off the tongue.
She stuck the landing, dog. Good one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's check out the news.
He called me sir and got me so fuming angry.
People are discriminating against wolves. Wow.
They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
DP Action News.
And you better well learn to love it.
I enjoy pierogies for sure. They're wonderful. I like cheese and potato pierogies. That's one of my faves.
Pierogies and
that's
pierogies,
like Russian.
Are they the same basic dish though?
No, they're different.
What are pierogies?
Pierogies are dumplings.
They're not baked?
No, they're usually fried, like pan fried in oil. They're different.
Sounds a lot like the pierogies.
They have the similar names, but they're different things.
Meat feel dumb.
Why do you want to argue this? Yeah, you can find a few ways that they're similar, but they're different things, dude. Just because their names are similar doesn't mean they're
both
the same
just
thing.
they're both just hot pockets, right?
Okay. All right. So Tucker Carlson fired at Fox News. I'm just saying it to appease all the whiners. He was forced to resign, essentially. Here it is.
This just in to CNN. Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. The right-wing network just announced the two have parted ways. CNN senior media reporter Oliver Darcy is here with more on this. What are you learning? He was out on Friday. Will we see him say goodbye?
We're not going to see him say goodbye. This is really stunning news coming from Fox. They say his last show was April 21st. They put out a very short statement. They say they thank him for his service, and that's it. That's all we know.
Was he in the military?
No, right now. But of course,
Thank
this
you for your
comes
service.
days after. Last week, you remember, Fox News settled this massive defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems over the election lies that it promoted in the wake of the 2020 election. So they paid out $787 million.
I'm wondering if part of the settlement was to fire Tucker Carlson.
It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. It's private, so we'll never know.
Yeah, they could have offered a number and then said the counter was like, yeah, we like that number. Also, we want you to get rid of Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Or maybe they could be in collusion here. And this could all be to shut down Newsmax big time. Because if Fox News puts up all this money showing that they had the guilt, Newsmax can't match that.
Highest known defamation settlement ever publicly known in U.S. media. So this is coming days after that. Unclear, of course, whether this is related. It's kind of hard to imagine that these things happen. Tucker Carlson was sowing doubts about the U.S. election results just up until the last few weeks. So it's possible that there was a relationship there, but really big news. And I should also point out that they've stuck with him really through quite a lot. He has promoted conspiracy theories about the vaccines. He has said things that are just blatantly anti-immigrant. He has, like I said, promoted...
Yeah, but that's not going to get him fired. That's going to help him keep his job on Fox News.
Doubt about the 2020 election. They have stuck with him throughout all of this. So, really shocking news that now he's no longer with the network.
Yeah, the big question, as you say, is why now? Fox has let their number one people go before. I mean, Bill O'Reilly.
Who Tucker replaced. Yeah, it's crazy because he was bringing in crazy amounts of ratings for Fox News.
They let Bill O'Reilly go? I thought he left.
Well, the same way Tucker left. Bill O'Reilly was part of a sexual harassment lawsuit.
Jack Nicholson in our chat says apparently Tucker wasn't fired because of the Dominion lawsuit, but instead because of another lawsuit for a secretary or something who was fired a month ago.
I don't know anything about that. Maybe they'll say it here, but I haven't heard anything about that.
They pushed out when he was number one. They're doing this now with Tucker Carlson. We talk about this happening in the wake of the Dominion decision. Now, it's interesting with Carlson, which is that it wasn't his show or his shows that Dominion was suing over necessarily for promoting false news. It was some of his behind-the-scenes stuff that was legally problematic for Fox, but he wasn't one of the people who helped get them in trouble with Dominion, was he?
No, he wasn't the main culprit that really spawned this lawsuit. But, it's not to say also that other hosts could not be eventually leaving the network as well. I mean, this raises a lot of questions about whether the network potentially is trying to at least rein in some of the more extreme people on the channel. I mean, of course, Tucker Carlson, the most extreme probably on that channel. I should also note, John, why this is so important. I mean, Tucker Carlson, outside Donald Trump, really was the person commanding the GOP, really directing it. You saw Republican lawmakers, prominent Republican lawmakers.
Yeah, I mean, when Trump wanted to do an interview, he picked either Tucker or Sean Hannity to do his interviews.
Do you think they dip into the YouTube realm now? Do you think they might go for Blair White as the next co-host or next host?
No, they won't pick a trans person. Definitely
That'd be funny.
They would definitely not do that.
Often grovel at his feet.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, for instance, groveled at his feet, and others because they were afraid of him going on his primetime show and lashing out at them. So this is not only huge news in the world of media, but also in the world of politics, where he was really pushing the GOP in that extremist direction.
And it's also, just to that point, that's also, his show is also a place that a lot of Republican lawmakers or anyone who wanted to speak to Donald Trump would go in order to send their message, because they knew that Donald Trump would be watching and so closely tracking that show in and of itself. Do we know where he was in his contract? Are they going to be able to say that this was, end of his contract, they just wanted to try something different?
I'm not sure. I mean, I have been reaching out. I have also reached out to Tucker Carlson and everyone.
Of course, yeah. Tucker Carlson's going to want to talk to CNN and explain what happened to him. That would be crazy if he did go. Like, they wouldn't take him at CNN, but that would be mind blowing if CNN hired him.
What if the same thing that Ghazi Kodzo got caught up in somehow is connected across the board here, and we're going to get a bunch of people stepping down because they were colluding with Russia? He was always pretty pro-Russia.
I don't think he was colluding with Russia.
You don't think he made a little bonus bucks? Nah. We know that iron fucking fist is starting to slam down on people.
And trying to get more information on this, but this is a very short statement. Also, notably, there's no statement from Tucker Carlson in here. It doesn't seem.
In my opinion, it's as simple as if you're pro-Ukraine, then you're pro-Biden. So if you're Fox News, you take the other side because you don't want to agree with anything Biden is doing. If you're on Fox News, you want to shit on Biden relentlessly, and you take the opposite position of whatever Biden is for.
To guess that they parted ways amicably. We'll be obviously looking for more information in the hours ahead.
I think the other question here is it's not just about this defamation case that has already been settled. There's more to come. There's more legal action, Smartmatic and others. And
I would love if Fox News just went out of business. I don't think it's going to happen, but their net, like, they lost a huge chunk of their value as a company.
Their real value is controlling narratives, though. Like, they are the spin towards that side, and until their viewership dies, which probably is going to take another 20 or 30 years to really lose those old people, I think they're going to be a steady spot on
still got to pay for a studio and still got to pay everybody.
Rupert Murdoch's got no problem covering it if it's a long-term investment. If
he's losing money on it, he would get out of it.
He could lose money, but I hear that there's a lot of right-wing money getting thrown around, so I think he might be one of them throwing it around.
It does make you wonder if this is something to do with that, because it is so abrupt and it doesn't seem amicable at this point. Not with that statement.
That's right. There's a lot more legal action on the way for Fox News. They have the Smartmatic lawsuit, which is a $2.7 billion lawsuit.
I am kind of surprised that they gave it to Tucker and not Hannity when O'Reilly left, because Hannity was the guy who had been there for the longest. And he was in, he did the show with Combs at first. It was Hannity and Combs, where Combs was supposed to be like the left-wing guy that would argue with him.
They got the most weenie-looking left-wing guy to go against strong Hannity.
Yeah, Hannity with the big jaw and he's wearing a nice suit.
Yeah. And Combs was like, "Oh no, you win again."
Yeah, Combs had partial facial paralysis and shit going on.
They knew what they were doing.
He had an eyebrow that was permanently up.
They knew what they were doing.
It's also making its way through the courts, and that hasn't been resolved yet.
What's up with the Discord chat? Is Discord stuck or something? What is going on with you guys?
They all went to sleep.
Damn it.
So it's potentially possible that, Fox News just had enough. They maybe have needed a scapegoat, someone to just kind of throw and say, look, we got rid of this guy. I mean, because they do have some other problems with shareholders probably upset that they had these election deniers go on air and knowingly spread falsehood. So, there's a lot of things at play.
Yeah, but there was so much, that was happening for so long before we got to this.
The LA Times reported that Tucker was fired for a lawsuit from Abby Grossberg, who was subject to hostile work environments.
Okay. So they're saying it's because of that.
Yeah, that's what
the person in the chat was saying that. Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, but now they've had to pay $787 million, exactly. And they have shareholders who are not happy about that. I mean, that's a lot of money.
We'll see. Look, it's hard to imagine Fox all of a sudden just changing the way it does business completely. They've had to do.
They've changed over time. They've definitely they were they were praying at the altar of George W. Bush for the longest time, and it's definitely different now with the whole Trump thing, because Trump was definitely a different kind of Republican.
The Republican Party changed.
Right. Yes, yeah.
And
that's what I mean.
They were definitely not on board with Trump, but they were reaping the rewards of Trump for the longest time. And then finally, like, well, we got to go in. He's the guy.
Yep. Behind the scenes, they all hated Trump and wished he'd go away. But when the cameras were on, they were walking in lockstep.
Josh, you were here talking to these people live, right? That's you there in the corner asking them all the questions. Is that
what people?
The guy
where?
That's you with the suit next to at the end of the table here.
What a horrible joke.
What?
Well, first of all, this guy has no hair and Josh has hair. And this guy has red hair. Josh has red hair and this guy has like dark hair.
I stole the joke from Sea-Dog in the pleb chat.
Well, stop doing that.
Stop dogging on Sea-Dog.
Read this statement because it is
Billy,
so
stop
short.
dog dropping me.
It says, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service to the network as a host, and prior to that as a contributor. Mr. Carlson's last program was Friday, April 21st. That's really incredible in its brevity there. As for Tucker Carlson, this may sound outlandish to some, but there are people who suggested that maybe he would become a Republican candidate himself.
That would be insane.
And that's because
if he ran against Trump,
of the firm grip he has exerted over the GOP in the last few years.
You think he'd stand a chance?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah, no, he would definitely stand a chance.
He can talk the talk, for one thing.
The question is, would the Republican Party support him? Because he's not a career politician. They like to support the career politicians. That's why they were so
Donald
against
Trump isn't a career.
They didn't support him for the longest time. It took the longest time for Trump to get the nomination. He had to shoot down every single.
He got the nomination in the regular pace as anyone else.
They did not. They were not on board for the longest.
They weren't
time.
on board with him, but he got it. Like it. I mean, the voting came in and he won.
I should say this. He's the top.
I feel like Tucker
host.
would play ball too, so I don't think it would be as bad as Trump. You know.
Yeah, and he's like a propaganda artist. He's way better at it than Trump.
You think so? I feel like Trump is a little smoother in that department.
No, Trump just and Trump has a limited vocabulary too. A very very limited.
Him. The people that Trump appeals to also have limited vocabularies. The real question is Tucker Carlson likable enough to win people over who are in the middle? Trump had this crazy history that. Well, he was Democrat. He was Democratic leaning for the longest time. There are people who grew up on Trump and loved him before he was ever thinking of being a politician. Like he's got that ingrained history in America. Tucker might not.
Not only on Fox, but really all of cable. I mean, he was commanding a huge audience, and he was very influential over that audience. It was a very loyal audience. They tuned in. If you look at the ratings would spike on Fox News specifically for Tucker Carlson.
So it looks like Tucker's ratings were actually lower than Bill O'Reilly's, but they're still nothing to laugh at. You know, pretty huge ratings.
Ratings are down across the board on cable television over the last 10 years. So his ratings being down are just par for the course with everything.
So, yeah, he has a huge sway over GOP primary voters. I think that's why those questions were raised, whether he would potentially run for president one day. Doesn't seem like that's probably why he's leaving, given the statement and the way this
he's going to start
ended.
a podcast or something.
We've decided to part ways. It's not a way.
He'll start streaming on Cozy.
You send off
the Anthony
your
Cumia
top-rated,
route, as you mentioned.
Top-rated anybody on any
I don't
show
think he'll
for
do
any
that, but-
reason.
Yeah.
You don't cast them aside or part ways with them unless
I'd
something
watch
is
him
wrong.
more if
And
he did, for sure.
You'd watch him on Cozy, and he would just start dropping hard R's
The
over.
N-bombs,
Yeah.
He was on the list for possible
Put his
witnesses
stupid red
when it
bow
came to-
tie on
for
for
the-
donos.
to the Dominion.
Yeah, he dropped the
kicked
bow
out of,
tie
like,
when
Fox parties.
He dropped the bow tie when he took the Fox job. That was kind of his. Trademark in a way.
I'm waiting for him to start with a bolo now.
He got owned so bad by Jon Stewart on Crossfire. It's hilarious. It was so funny. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's when I started noticing Tucker Carlson for being Tucker Carlson and not for being dickhead with a bow tie.
In voting trial.
He was supposed to be one of the first
That
witnesses.
made Tucker Carlson probably put him in the actual mind of everybody.
that they called to the stand, and of course that got averted when they had that settlement. But we should also point out too, he is so extreme. I mean, the things that he was doing on his program make Sean Hannity look like a moderate. I mean, it started off more as he was a mainstream conservative figure, but he has really been radicalized in recent years.
That was what I was saying. He became like way more radical as soon as he got that position, but he had to. Like, that's why they put him there.
I think the whole Fox News kind of got more radical.
Yep.
Like, I now that I've heard the thing about the lawsuit with the secretary or whatever that was claiming terrible working conditions under him. Now that I've heard that, it makes sense that he's gone for something Dominion related.
Was he like trying to put his pee-pee in her or what? What were the terrible working conditions?
Maybe he just like
was he just like harassment? Was he just like Ellen DeGeneres or
maybe he just said I wouldn't even rape you to her. Maybe he said that.
That was a Sargon quote.
Yeah, that was not
Garcon of Akkad.
Radicalized his audience. I mean, the things that were promoted on his show used to be what you would see on InfoWars, which is that far-right company hosted and founded by Alex Jones, who was also facing over $1 billion in legal problems. But it was being mainstream to the Fox News audience, which is obviously very dangerous. And so
our pleb chat user Overpass says that it's being reported that Tucker Carlson just wanted to crack her back.
Oh, like Blade?
Yeah.
Figured out, dude.
Potentially possible that Fox thinks it can get away with someone more like Sean Hannity, who promotes a lot of conspiracy theories himself, but is a little bit more mainstream, not as radical.
I love the leaked text from Sean Hannity to like Trump on January 6th. Because you got to see Sean Hannity, like his true colors, basically.
Tucker.
They've been letting this
What were they? What was the text?
Oh, he was like, you got to stop this. You got to tell them to stop because this looks really bad. There were a bunch of people texting Trump.
Trump was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. And Melania, or not Melania, but Ivanka was doing it too.
For years. This is
She's
not
like, Dad, you're going to ruin our legacy.
So it's interesting.
She's going to have to start an OnlyFans
the timing
now.
of all this. We'll have to wait and see what he says. I'm sure there will be something coming out from his side of things.
Well, that's kind of an interesting question, though, because what we do know when it comes to Fox and when they part ways with someone, they're just ask Gretchen Carlson. NDAs.
Non-disclosure agreement.
And the interesting thing, too, is he free to jump to another network if that's something he wants to do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, is he still under contract? Is this the sort of thing where he's going to have to sit out the rest of his contract?
I mean, if he's getting paid still, they might have him sit out and get paid.
Yep.
They might terminate. If they terminate, he could go somewhere else. Like, I'm pretty sure if they terminate the contract, then there's no, like maybe like a 90-day or something. I don't know how the contracts exactly will work, but no compete's different when you get fired.
Yeah.
Newsmax, if he jumped to Newsmax, which is that smaller right-wing channel that Fox...
I don't... If you look at the official release, he wasn't officially fired. He was forced to resign, which is getting fired, but without the being fired on your record. So...
People who keep bringing up Ivanka Trump doing an OnlyFans are sick. Her nude body is for her husband and her father only.
Well, Andy Dick was getting some feels in that one time on Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, Andy.
He was all like stroking her leg and stuff. It was weird.
Our lovable groper.
He was really worried about in the wake of the 2020 election. His audience, I'm sure...
Can you imagine going from groping Ivanka to groping fucking JJ? God damn it.
How hard can you fall?
That's a fall from grace.
That's a huge
Nothing
fall.
against JJ. It's just all Ivanka.
It's an upgrade in my book.
JJ is better than the grope.
Over there. So is he free to do that? Is that something he wants to do? Is it possible he wants to do something like Glenn Beck? Start his own media empire on the side?
I think he'll start a podcast.
There's a lot of different options for him here, depending on what his contract is.
And I will say, the legal problems for Fox are not over. They have the Smartmatic lawsuit. Smartmatic has sued Fox for more than Dominion did, and now you have a potential disgruntled ex-employee, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, they're going to lose like $750 million again in this other lawsuit.
As a witness there.
And we should say this too. Last week...
I'm glad there's a level of accountability that we're finally seeing here. Because I was like, man, how can they just keep lying about this and nothing
It wasn't
happen?
a secretary. It was one of his producers and both gender-based and anti-Semitic discrimination.
Oh, wow.
She was fired after she filed a suit. Apparently it also wasn't just Tucker who was let go on Friday. Another producer was, too.
Hoo-hoo.
After this Dominion lawsuit was settled, you saw Tucker Carlson kind of poke the eye of everyone when he went on his program and was just talking about, can you imagine a media company openly lying to the viewers?
I'm going to play this next one from Anderson Cooper. This is how Fox announced Tucker Carlson's departure.
Stunning end. Tucker Carlson.
Oh, no, it's what's his face, not Anderson Cooper. I can't remember his name right now.
At Fox. The network revealing just minutes ago.
The other white-haired guy.
Hosted his last show this past Friday. Carlson had been a network staple since back in 2009. 6 years, almost 7 years, he had his primetime show. Just 2 weeks ago,
I love how they picked like an unflattering screen grab of him. John King, thank you for helping. Yeah, thank you for helping.
Find a very important network get. The first post-arraignment interview with the former President Donald Trump. Fox on air and in its statement brands this decision as mutual. Let's get straight to CNN's Oliver Darcy. Oliver, giant news. What do we know about
this guy again?
This is really astonishing news,
He's the
John, in the
professional.
world of media and in politics.
You ever have one of those toys where it's like the magnet and the metal shavings and the like face, and you have to like make
Put
a
the
beard?
beard and eyebrows on.
Yeah. His beard looks like that.
Yeah.
His beard looks like the little metal shavings.
Poor guy.
We don't really have any details outside the short statement that I want to read to you from Fox News, which was put out moments ago. It says, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to...
Abby Shapiro and Andy Dick in Media Frenzy on tape for
Oh, come on. Come on, Majorly Awesome.
So it's a three-way between those three?
Come on.
Is that what that is?
You better not use the AI to make Andy Dick, Ivanka Trump, and Abby Shapiro pornography.
Hell yeah.
You better not. That's sick.
To part ways. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor. And it goes on to say that his last program already aired on Friday, April 21st, and that his hour will now be hosted by a rotating cast of different hosts over on the network.
And
so,
at the end of that hour, he told everybody he'd be back again for Monday's show. So he had no idea then it would be his last show either.
Yeah. He had no idea.
a very short statement. I can't imagine that this was amicable. Notably missing from the statement was anything from Tucker Carlson himself. And John, this is huge, like I said, in Republican politics as well as media, because Tucker Carlson exerted.
I wonder if Tucker fired the secretary after the lawsuit, or if it was handled like beneath him, and then they're like, "Oh, you can't fire, we can't be responsible for that firing." Once they realize there's a lawsuit there, they probably knew about the lawsuit before.
I didn't even know about this thing until we saw it in the chat earlier, so I didn't get to research it.
Control and so much power and influence over the Republican Party base. You often saw lawmakers like Ted Cruz go on his show and
somebody has an article or something based on the new information, send it to content
on air.
We'll pull it up and read
and
it.
like you said,
content in the Discord.
In the Discord.
Take a look at it.
The first interview with Donald Trump after he was arraigned in New York court, and so this is a huge moment, I think, not only in media but also in politics.
That big banner they have with all the Fox News hosts on it reminded me of the WWE trucks when a wrestler gets released.
Yep.
And they still have like Zack Ryder on the truck after like
Chris
months of
Benoit.
Yeah, the trucks still have the guys' faces long after they're gone. That reminded me of that.
For the whole country.
And so, Oliver, we want to be careful because there's a lot we don't know, as you smartly pointed out there. And you very smartly pointed out that there's no comment from Tucker Carlson in the statement issued by Fox. You can draw an inference from that, but we need to be careful. There was nothing, you very carefully covered the lawsuit, Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News. This is not required. There was nothing in that settlement. Fox settled the lawsuit, agreed to pay the money, and there was absolutely nothing like this on the table. So this...
You know what? Someone did an AI of Tucker Carlson getting fired, like an AI of his voice.
What in the hell is wrong with you people? Slimer from Ghostbusters is already nude. Why is it suddenly inappropriate for him to be wearing lingerie? These photos are normal. Everyone has photos like these. They're just too damn scared to admit it. This is not a crime. Have you even read the Constitution?
So he's complaining here because he was catfished. He thought that he was jerking off to pictures of the green M&M in lingerie because he really hates that the green M&M or the might be trans M&Ms.
Yeah.
He's jerking off to the green M&M in lingerie, and as his eyes cleared up, post-nut clarity, he realized he was jerking off to Slimer in lingerie. So he's pissed.
Yeah, his whole thing is to drum up the culture war and make old people scared of it.
Lost so many sponsors on Tucker's show they were losing money keeping him on, but his ranting were so high he was worth keeping. I guess he's not worth it anymore.
Something happened.
Well, I think if he's guilty of the stuff they're saying he's guilty of, they can't have that attached to their corporation.
Others didn't say a single thing against sliming yourself at work. I locked the door. I shut the windows. I had no idea the intern was in there. She was wearing blue and blended in with the curtains. If I had known she was there, I would have never gotten totally nude, pulled out my Slimer photos, and covered myself in green goo. I need to lay down.
In green goo.
Green goo. Here's an article someone sent us.
Why did Fox News really fire Tucker Carlson? Here's what we know. Dun, dun. The news that Fox News was ousting its biggest star, Tucker Carlson, sent shockwaves through political and media circles Monday. Even in a network mired in scandals and facing multiple lawsuits, Carlson's ouster has brought much speculation, but few official comments about what happened. Here's what we know from Times reporting on Monday. Why did Fox fire Carlson? Carlson has not commented on this. Fox simply said in a statement, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service, network host, and prior to as a contributor. La, da, da, da. But sources told the Times that Carlson's exit is related to this discrimination lawsuit filed by Abby Grossberg, the producer fired by the network last month. Carlson's senior executive producer, Justin Wells, has also been terminated, according to insiders. Grossberg was moved off of Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo and on to Tucker Carlson Tonight, where she alleged she was bullied and subjected to anti-Semitic comments, according to a lawsuit in New York. In deposition testimony, the former Fox News producer also said she was coerced by company lawyers into giving misleading answers in the Dominion defamation case against the network. Fox News denied the claim and said she was terminated for disclosing privileged company information. In a statement, attorneys for Grossberg suggested her suit was a key factor in Carlson's exit. Who made the call? Sources said the decision came straight from Fox Corp chairman Rupert Murdoch, with input from board members and other Fox executives. What about last week's legal settlement? Carlson's ouster came days after the $787.5 million settlement from Fox News, agreeing to pay Dominion Voting Systems. Dominion accused Fox of knowingly making false claims related to the 2020 election. And a representative for Dominion said Carlson's exit was not part of the settlement. However, some of the comments that Carlson had made about Fox News management and communications that turned up in the discovery process for the case may have played a role in his demise.
Yeah. So the stuff that people were saying, like the leaked texts, they weren't really leaked. They were subpoenaed as part of the discovery for the lawsuit that was about to happen that ended up getting settled.
Do we know what was said to this Grossberg lady? Is that part of the...
I mean, anti-Semitic stuff, we know that. We can only imagine.
We have a link to the case, right? It says here, discrimination lawsuit filed by Abby Grossberg. Yeah. Let's see. Fired Fox News producer said she was coerced into giving misleading testimony.
I believe that.
A former Fox News producer has altered her deposition testimony in the defamation case against the network, claiming she was coerced by company lawyers to give misleading answers. Abby Grossberg was fired Friday by Fox.
Oh, shit. Fuckers.
News days after she filed her lawsuit in New York and Delaware that alleged discrimination based on gender, religion, and disability. Her suit claims she was bullied. Do we click the bullied link? Because it's saying it's like there's a link.
You want me to click it?
I want to find her claims.
Right. Damn it.
These motherfuckers
putting all their shit. Yeah, it's all the Times. Like the New York Times does this too, where they're like, "Hey, you want to read this shit? You gotta pay."
Yeah, well, I got some times for you. Okay, hard times.
Yeah,
we can't afford to pay for news.
Hard times, baby. Hard times. Yeah, I can only do this or go to a different website.
Fuck it. I don't know. Scroll down real quick and just keep an eye out for like anything that was actually said directly.
Well, they're not going to type the literal like anti-Semitic comments.
Well, it would be interesting to see exactly what was done and said.
I'm guessing maybe a word that rhymes with bike might have been said.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that blatant, but it could be.
Yeah.
They could have just made comments about her nose or something and been fucking.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Well, the whole thing, like, it happens way too often.
I found like an 79 page document of the lawsuit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did you link? I think you linked it in the chat.
No, I'll link it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna figure out why Tucker Carlson was fired.
There it is. Let's see.
Okay, this is primary statement. The case is as troubling as it is familiar. It is yet another in the long line of cases chronicling the misogynistic environment.
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
That permeates Fox News and fosters a toxic workplace where truth remains a fugitive while female workers are verbally violated on almost a daily basis by a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. That's the intro statement. I can scroll down. All right, I'm just going to go through here. It says that she was treated significantly worse than her male counterparts, even worse than those who were less qualified than her. That's definitely misogyny. I only talk down to people who are qualified enough. Never people. I never give credence to less qualified people.
I could do like a word search for anti-Semitic or something.
It says vile sexist stereotypes, typecast religious minorities, and belittles their traditions. Okay, so that
she complained about the unlawful harassment based on her gender and Jewish religion. It says
to which she's subjected by Alexandra Caskell and Justin Wells, both producers on TCT, mere hours after Miss Grossberg had the courage to speak up to a superior named Thomas Fox, senior editorial producer. She was called into a meeting with Human Resources.
Whistleblowers always get punished. It's unbelievable. The reason why most people never stand up and do the right thing is because whistleblowers get punished all the time.
Is she a whistleblower if she's defending herself?
Yeah, she spoke up and complained to senior people there about what was happening. Yeah, it's a whistleblower if it's happening to you.
Huh. And it says she was Human Resources and was presented with a bogus written warning by Monica McKeel, Senior Vice President of Human Resources. Then after expressing her concerns to Miss McKeel directly, Miss Grossberg was discarded and ordered to return to work and face the same environment about which she had just complained, which she had made clear was causing her severe stress and anxiety. Ultimately feeling ignored and unprotected by Fox News and suffering from severe anxiety due to the unlawful treatment she received from her male supervisors and colleagues, Miss Grossberg sought protected FMLA leave supported by her therapist. This is what happened. Fox News did, in fact, top its illicit behavior just hours later as it abruptly placed Miss Grossberg on forced administrative leave, effectively ending her career at the network in a blatant display of unlawful retaliation.
Yep.
And unfortunately for Fox News, Miss Grossberg refuses to be silenced and brings this case to obtain vindication for Fox News' flagrant violations of her rights under the Equal Pay Act.
Is Tucker named in this, though? So far, we haven't seen his name.
Yeah. His producers were said to be making the comments directly.
I can do like a word search.
He's named in the very first one.
Oh, okay.
The very first paragraph where it says defendants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just. Let's say Tucker Carlson, Tucker. Yeah. So. Yeah, he is named a lot of times in this. So,
yeah, I don't know how deep we're going to be able to get in this.
Let me look up anti-Semitic. Did I spell it wrong?
I don't know. They might not have used that exact terminology.
Okay.
For the remarks earlier, they said it was
based on her Jewish religion.
What was it? Stereotype?
Yeah.
Stereotype?
Yeah, so maybe they
but also like saying that it was misogynistic and the equal pay gender thing. So it might that might have been a small part of the bigger problem, that she was just being treated like shit because she was a woman too, which Fox News has a history of.
Whoa, yeah,
doing.
absolutely. Like even Megyn Kelly, who was like she's pretty intelligent. Like she went to law school and practiced as a lawyer and everything, but even she couldn't handle it there, and she's pretty out there. She's pretty far right.
When she worked on the show for the Maria woman, she had no problems. So moving to Tucker, that's where the problem started. So it seems like he was fostering that culture under his show.
Do a word search for Jewish.
Okay.
If you don't mind, sorry.
No problem. So there's the one we saw earlier.
Based on gender, she based her Jewish
Click the
religion on display.
page
Mr. Casco
51
installed.
one.
51?
So there's some mentions that she brought some special like Jewish bread to the, because like if you've ever been to a deli, they
Is
usually
her
have like a
name
little
Yaron?
bakery in there sometimes too.
Is her name Yaron?
No, click it though. I just read a part of it. It's pretty.
This part?
Fun. Yeah, page 51.
This is a guy who brought it. So it says, Mr. Yaron awkwardly shrugged off the idea, assumed Mr. Casco was not being serious. However, Mr. Casco later approached Mr. Yaron and repeated. So we got to go up to the top of this.
Yeah.
Oh my
you
God.
can read just part number 248.
248.
Let's go a little further up because there's some shit going on.
245? Start at 245?
Go a little further up.
Okay. We'll go up to page 50.
Okay, we'll start here. The board X. Mrs. Grossberg is harassed based on her Jewish faith by Mr. McCaskill. In or about October 31st, 2022, Mr. McCaskill put his discriminatory animus against Miss Grossberg based on her Jewish religion on display. Mr. McCaskill installed 3 large inflatable Christmas decorations inside the TCT booking team seating area, a preposterous display that was distracted and loud, as well as 1 full-sized and 1 smaller Christmas tree. So that he filled...
They were like rubbing Christmas in her face, allegedly.
This is the show that like literally started the war on Christmas. Tucker Carlson, like he started the war on Christmas.
He started the war on Hanukkah.
Is the war on Christmas really the war on Hanukkah? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
And it was distracting and loud. Which yes, Christmas is distracting and loud. We do celebrate it here in the United States. Unfortunately, I wish that.
Well, they're saying the display was like purposefully put near her, and it was distracting.
What's
and
the
loud.
TCT booking team? Right? Was that her area?
Yeah.
However, anytime Miss Grossberg tried to turn off the distracting and loud inflatable decorations, Mr. McCaskill would contemptuously demand that the Christmas decoration be turned back on and call her a Scrooge or a Grinch. Upon information and belief, Mr. McCaskill also hung up a sign on the smaller Christmas tree, which had been placed next to Miss Grossberg's desk that read Hanukkah Bush. So
my God.
In about December 2022, as the team discussed the upcoming Fox News Spotlight Awards, which recognize employees for their outstanding performance and contributions, Mr. McCaskill quipped the entirely Caucasian TCT team could never win the $10,000 prize for Inclusion Ambassador of the Year, which recognized employees who led by example in celebrating, engaging, and advocating on behalf of diverse community voices. Is that why she's suing? Because she's not only a woman, but she's also Jewish? So she could have won them the prize? She could have. That's
is so
inclusion.
ridiculous.
That's fucking psycho that he would say that. Mr. McCaskill then offensively suggested they nominate Eldad Yaron, a booking producer for TCT, for the award solely because he was an Israeli Jew and could use the $10,000 to buy the team pizza for a year. Mr. Yaron awkwardly shrugged off the idea, assuming Mr. McCaskill was not being serious. However, Mr. McCaskill later approached Mr. Yaron and repeated this idea. Mr. Yaron and Ms. Grossberg, who was within earshot, both grew increasingly uncomfortable with the discussion, especially given how months earlier Mr. McCaskill ridiculed Mr. Yaron to other employees for taking time off to celebrate both Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur because they fell on back-to-back weeks. As the year came to an end, Ms. Grossberg bought each of her team members a gift to thank them for their diligent work. In turn, Mr. Yaron bought a babka, a historically Jewish sweetbread, for the office. When Mr. McCaskill learned that there was babka in the office, he began to loudly and obnoxiously demand that the TCT booking team have the bread made by the Jews. Thereafter, anytime Mr. Yerome purchased his lunch from the Jewish bakery known as Bread's Bakery, Mr. McCaskill loudly proclaimed to the TCT booking team that Mr. Yerome went to the Jew bakery and that he had gone to see his people.
So cringy. Now, like, you can have a friendship with someone and joke like this, but it probably shouldn't be done at work. I don't know the nature of their relationship.
I mean, if there's a lawsuit coming through, maybe Mr. Yerone and him are really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mr. McCaskill are really good.
But someone else got offended.
You shouldn't have done it in front of everybody else.
When you work in the corporate world, you have to be as sensitive as the most sensitive person in the room.
Which is why I fire everybody.
I saw people get in trouble because I worked for a telecom company. We were having like a team meeting of the team that I was on. Like, we all had the same supervisor, and my supervisor brought up Tropic Thunder. We were just shooting the shit, and he brought up the you never go full retard line from there, and we all kind of laughed about it. But then little did he know, one of the women on my team had like a sister that was mentally handicapped, and like went to HR and like told them that we were laughing at.
Did he get fired?
No.
Did you get in trouble?
We all got like talked to, basically. But he could have gotten fired from it. Like, HR is not there to help you. They're there to protect the company. Like, they're called human resources, but literally they're just there to protect the company from that kind of shit. Like a lawsuit.
That's why I always seduce HR when I go to a new company.
You don't go to companies.
Yeah, I seduce HR day one. I make HR do nasty stuff to me.
Okay.
The incredibly demeaning and offensive conduct was made even worse by the fact that Mr. McCaskill endorsed others in the office to repeat these offensive remarks. So he's getting people to team up on him. So I think that's pretty clear.
Okay.
Where the anti-Semitism comes from. Oh, right here, Mr. Grossberg told Mr. Fox that she felt Mrs. Grossberg told Mr. Fox that she felt constantly attacked by Mr. McCaskill, and that his criticism of her in the group text was hindering her ability to do her job. Ms. Grossberg further explained that Mr. McCaskill's tone and offensive language used in the group text was unacceptable, including him saying, "Am I being a dick or do I have a point here?"
He sounds like Steve Carell from The Office, almost. Like, all the, like, because that's what The Office is all about. Like, Steve Carell is just like a bumbling fool that always says like the most inappropriate things.
Here's an
constantly.
interesting part of guilt. Mr. Fox responded to Miss Grossberg both dismissively and shockingly. "We're all under stress. This is Tucker's tone and just the pace of the show." So he's saying being anti-Semitic and rude and everything is just Tucker's tone. That's the pace of the show. We're all in Tucker's tone. In other words, Mr. Fox is admitting that the misogynistic fish rots from the head down, i.e. Mr. McCaskill behaved towards her in a deplorable, discriminatory manner because he was inspired, permitted, and enabled to do so by Mr. Carlson himself. So now if they have added evidence of Tucker laughing at this guy's shit, there you go.
Yeah. That's true.
This is the reason Ben literally won't laugh at anything I say, because he doesn't want to be held liable for it.
I laugh at some of the things you say.
Okay.
Some of them.
Just the safe things, Ben.
When I can tell there's actual effort put into it, then I laugh.
Real heroes laugh at all my jokes, Ben.
Nope. I laugh at effort. Everyone, please like the stream if you haven't already. We're going to move on to the next thing here, which is Don Lemon. Today's like Bloody Monday for the cable news networks, because Don Lemon was one of the main anchor people over on CNN, and he's gone.
Okay, this is Monday. Hear me out. What if we have a Freaky Friday this week, and Don Lemon shows up on Tucker's show, and Tucker shows up on Don Lemon's show for Freaky Friday? That's money.
Sick.
That's money. CNN, give Tucker the spot. At Fox News, give Don Lemon the spot. Let's go Freaky Friday on this Friday. Let's book it.
Good morning. We are so glad.
It seemed like any other day for CNN's Don Lemon.
Did you have a good vacation?
The veteran anchor cheerfully delivering the news. Then came this shocking tweet when he stepped off the set. I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned.
Wow.
Lemon went on to
I'm
blast
sorry, Mr. Lemon. We no longer need the black gay demographic. We will be hiring Dylan Mulvaney and Budweiser to replace you.
CNN's management. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly.
They called his agent and was like, yeah, Don's fired. They let him work one last day. And then they were like,
that sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of a bitch move, honestly.
At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. CNN's John King delivered the breaking developments.
I want to share with you some important news right here at our own network. Oliver, what do you know?
This guy talks about everyone getting fired.
The fuck does Oliver have on anybody?
Because he was like, now we got to break the... Because they were probably just now talking about Tucker. And they're like, well, here's some breaking news about our own network.
Some shocking news. Again, John, in the world of cable news, Don Lemon and CNN have parted ways. This is according to a memo that was sent out to CNN employees.
After Lemon tweeted about being stunned over his termination, the network fired back. Don Lemon's statement about this morning's events is inaccurate.
Wow.
He was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter.
We knew from our reporting that there was a big blow-up between Don Lemon and Caitlin Collins behind the scenes.
Caitlin Collins, I think that's that woman there. I recognize her, but I didn't know her name.
Lemon accused Caitlin Collins of interrupting him. That's death for cable news audiences, particularly in the morning, when you have tension between hosts. It just doesn't work.
CNN's arch rivals at Fox News gloated.
What?
Took
so long.
Lemon has been under...
What took so long?
They're really trying not to look at the Tucker Carlson situation.
Yep.
Scrutiny.
I should have gotten each side covering each story.
In bigger news of us getting rid of Tucker, you realize they hate the blacks and the gays now at CNN, right? Fox News loves the blacks and gays, by the way. We got rid of a white guy because we're progressive.
Since February, since making a crack about presidential hopeful Nikki Haley's age.
Oh, he was doing the morning show there, which is supposed to be like more lighthearted and they can like kind of banter a little bit. But I guess he made fun of Nikki Haley's age. I don't know why. She's not that old.
Is he saying she's too young to be running?
I don't know. Let's see. Because this is Nikki Haley. She doesn't look like crazy old.
Well, I mean, as I imagine he'd be saying the opposite and saying she's not qualified because she's too young.
We need a president in their like 40s or 50s. Fuck this like 70s shit.
I want a teenage president. Let's go.
Not possible.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime.
Whoa.
Just 30 minutes after the news broke, Haley tweeted, "A great day for women everywhere," along with this cheeky image of a can of lemonade with the slogan, "Past my prime."
There's been
so she got a final shot in after his ass got fired.
general reports over the last couple months, in addition to the Nikki Haley.
By the way, Nikki Haley is not a factor in the next election at all.
Is she Republican?
Yeah. She used to be the governor, I think, of like North Carolina, one of the southeastern states.
I like how she got two party girl names. Nikki and Haley.
She's like part Indian too.
If you're a Republican, you're gonna vote for a woman. You want a woman with two party girl names. That's why Sarah Palin didn't make
governor of South Carolina.
Indicate that he does have a history.
Is that the one with the Myrtle Beach?
Nikki is actually her middle name. Her first name is like
Gertrude.
No, it's Nimarata. It's like a Indian name, I would think.
Nimarata Nicole Haley?
It's literally Nikki and not Nicole.
It's Nikki?
Yep.
Nimarata Nikki Haley. Randhawa was her maiden name, so she married into Haley.
Yeah.
Nimarata Randhawa.
Yep.
Interesting stuff here.
Yeah. But she's like, no one gives a shit about her. She's not going to be a factor. She'll probably get eliminated after the first few primaries. Like if she is like at the bottom after like the first few primaries, she'll drop out eventually.
Well, we got to see what happens. That she might be the one that they want to push against Biden. A young Nikki Haley.
They'll probably push DeSantis, but DeSantis hasn't. She was the first person to announce she was running. She beat Trump to the punch because like Trump hadn't done his like official "I'm running" thing yet. So that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to get her name out there.
She's got a pretty clean slate. You think that's going to help her
In the newsroom.
How many more Republicans are we going to see? You think? You think we're going to have that huge number we had when Trump was in 2016?
I guarantee you, Pence is going to run too. So yeah, this happens every time. Like the party that's not currently in the White House. When they do their primaries, everybody who thinks they stand a chance is going to put their name in.
Hell's Only is suggesting that she's running for the VP role, so she's just running for the VP. Happens all the time, yeah. Pence was running for president, right, and he took the VP role.
Yeah, Biden was running for president, not for the VP role, but got it anyway.
Got the VP.
Yeah,
being misogynistic, of being a bit of a bully, of being a diva.
This morning, Lemon joked that going on vacation was unfamiliar to him.
Vacation, what is that like?
Little did he know.
Well, he doesn't know what vacation is like now either. He got fired.
And she laughed. Maybe she knew, too, because there was tension there.
Damn.
She's like, you're going to find out soon, bitch.
He signed off. He would have plenty of time for vacation now.
Wow.
Inside Edition eating their own.
Yeah.
Actually, Inside Edition's not CNN.
No. Inside Edition's its own thing.
Okay.
I think it's syndicated.
Harris versus DeSantis for a bitch girl slap fight for VP. Let's go. Is Ron DeSantis going to be the bitch girl?
Ron DeSantis is an actual contender. Like Florida's a very valuable state in presidential elections. He'll probably win it.
Jocular Jellyfish says Haley has already lied about how much money she raised for her campaign. Well, has anybody ever became president or vice president off of a lie before?
Almost all of them.
Oh, so she's on good pace.
Here's some crazy news. Bam Margera is out on the lam right now. He's wanted by the law right now.
No, Bam's had a hard time.
Police were called to the Pecopson Township property called Castle Bam around 11 Sunday morning for
Is this the house from Viva La Bam back in the day?
I do believe it is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
a domestic case. When they got there, police were told former pro skateboarder and jackass star Bam Margera had taken off through the woods behind the property.
At what point? He took off into the woods when they showed up to arrest him.
He was dipping. He was dipping.
Get his parents an interview.
At what point do they go from jackass star to just jackass? Steve-O made it out. I thought Steve-O was going to get pretty low for a while, but he's now well-respected, happy podcast guy.
These documents, Bam had been kicking the door.
By the way, the History of the World Part 2 Mel Brooks thing that they just put out like a month ago, Johnny Knoxville's in it, and he's Rasputin in it, and they try to kill him in all the ways that they tried to kill Rasputin back in the day. It's hilarious.
They did that similar thing in the Kingsman prequel movie, the Kingsman. They had a Rasputin in there too, and they showed him getting murdered and all the.
It's just funny because Johnny Knoxville does all the weird jackass stunts, so they present it as like they used to do with Jackass, and like Wee Man's there and all this shit.
That's great.
It's really good. Like I was like, is this gonna be good? And I watched it, and it's still, it's in the same tradition of all that old school Mel Brooks shit. But instead of a movie, it's a series.
They cut Bam from the new Jackass 4 movie.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Sucked. Like there was like one scene in the movie that looked like you could see Bam in the background, and so he must have filmed some stuff with them.
Of his brother's bedroom and left a note for his brother threatening him if he talked to police.
Jesus.
Then the documents say the brother saw Bam.
The Mad Clown says Knoxville is easily the craziest jackass. What if Knoxville is like the Vince McMahon Triple H of Jackass, and he just books himself the best matches, the best stunts? Because he kind of ran the fucking show. He was that guy. He does do a lot of crazy shit.
I used to watch.
All those guys do.
I used to watch the CKY videos, which was kind of like the precursor to Jackass, that like Bam and his brother and Ryan Dunn and all them did before Jackass.
That's where I started watching them too.
Yeah.
My cousin, rest in peace, Gary, got me on it. Like, he got me on Magic the Gathering cards too. I owe Gary a lot of love and appreciation for him being my older cousin.
You just kind of reminded me too to put this out there. Our buddy Sophane, he lost his cute little dog recently, and it made me really sad to see it on Twitter. I don't normally use Twitter, and I was looking at it yesterday, and he was showing like some really sad photos of his dog at the vet and stuff like that. Sid Vicious, R.I.P. Sid Vicious. Send your love to Sophane and your condolences for his adorable little dog. It made me sad.
Sink, and then Bam attacked him, injuring his face. Bam's brother says Bam told him he would put a bullet in his head, and then he left the house. Family members were outside waiting when police arrived, and troopers searched the woods for Bam but didn't find him, which then led to a warrant for his
You think
arrest.
Bam's got tunnels? He's got tunnels back there.
I don't think he has that much money.
I bet
Bam
you
has
he's
been
got
a celebrity now
money.
for 2 decades with a few of his own shows.
Those
including
poor
the
guys dig tunnels under their house and keep women captive in the tunnels.
very popular Viva
Bring
La
them
Bam.
dog food and
Until
shit
it
to eat.
caves in on
He's
him.
been in
Not
and out of
always.
rehab for years and has had a number of personal life and child custody issues, as well as arrests, including charges he kicked a woman in California earlier this year. And he reportedly had a very rough time after the 2011 high-speed drunk driving.
There was
death
a
of his
guy
good
that would hang out in the Skrelly Discord with us. He went by the name 3 Alarm Lamp Scooter. He was digging tunnels under his house.
Cool.
And he hired he hired a guy to help him. And the tunnels were so like shady that they collapsed and the guy died.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fucked up.
If you don't know how to dig a tunnel, there's a really great chance of that happening. As an aside, Martin followed DP on Twitter not too long ago. So maybe we'll get Martin on the show sometime. Be interesting.
rough time after the 2011 high-speed drunk driving death of his good friend and co-star Ryan Dunn.
Yeah, that was really sad too. I think that played a part in Bam kind of spiraling. I remember seeing the news story of him like weeping his eyes out after this happened. He said he'd never lost anyone in his life before. Like he had never like had someone close to him die before. So
along Route 322 in West Goshen, I interviewed Bam shortly after Dunn's death.
I honestly ran out of tears, 4 days of nonstop crying. I have none left anymore.
Pennsylvania State Police say if you see Bam Margera or if you have any information that could help their investigation,
please become a snitch.
You should call them here at the Avondale Barracks in Chester
You can't
County.
snitch on Bam. Bam is doing one of the greatest jackass. He's running from the cops. Say, hi, I'm Bam Margera. This is Jackass 5. On the
NBC
run.
10 News.
Bam on the run.
Thanks for watching.
So
that's Lester Holt right
that's
there.
Lester. I see. I don't know who Don Vito.
Don Lemon
is.
is way younger than Lester Holt's hairline is like up to the top of his head. Don Lemon is like a younger guy with like a better hairline.
Don Vito, Don Lemon. They're all the same to me.
Is Don Vito still alive?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that dude was in bad shape even back in the day.
I think he got in trouble for diddling.
So Biden is expected to formally announce his bid for re-election, and polls, even amongst Democrats, overall only 5% of Americans polled want Biden to run. Only 5%.
That's crazy. They're probably all Republicans too.
No, a lot. Everyone polled, Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, and all the Republicans are like, yeah, let him run. We'll beat him easily. 5%.
Do the Democrats have any other contenders?
I mean, you're expected to step aside and let the incumbent run. Unless he says he's not going to.
If he has health issues, then does he just pass the buck to Kamala, or what happens there?
Like I've said, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but it could happen after he wins, dude. Most people don't live as long as Biden would have to live to get a whole next term. He'll be in his mid to late 80s. Let me see how old he is now. So,
look, with Kamala being the vice president,
he could hand it to her any day, literally any day.
He's 82, says Michael.
He's 80. He's 80.
80. He'll be 82.
I think. Hold on. No. I think Google was wrong. No. He's 80.
Yeah, he'll be 82 when he gets reelected and
if he
sworn in. If he wins again.
So yeah, the election would be next year, 2024, and he wouldn't take office until January of 2025. Yeah. So, and then 4 years after that. Yeah, like that's way past the average age of an adult male.
But as long as they keep giving him kids to sniff, he should make it through.
I don't think so. No, I don't think that'll help.
You don't think kid sniffing helps Biden go? Ice cream and kid sniffing.
His re-election bid because it would be 4 years to the day since he announced his 2020 run for the presidency, but it comes with some questions about whether he is the candidate who Democrats want. President Joe Biden at the White House honoring Teachers of the Year. Tomorrow, he may honor his stated plans to run again in 2024.
Donald Trump has been out there for months now, and it was important for Biden to stake his claim on the presidency and on continuing the presidency. The longer he waits, the more advantage he gets.
Don't we all assume that he's the incumbent? Does it really? Does
Yeah,
he really
but
have
we've never had a president this old. And he, like, literally could die in office if he gets reelected.
She's over here saying every month that he's not announcing his thing is losing steadfast to Trump. And it's is it really, though? Like, we all have to assume if nobody else is stepping up either, we have to assume that's what it's going to be.
This is the Republican Party. Also, the longer he waits, the more speculation there's going to be that he may not run.
But as voters await the announcement, a new poll that asked people if Biden should run again shows only 26% of Americans think he should.
So that's more
and
than
less
5%.
than half of Democrats, 47%, want.
Less than half of the Democrats polled in this poll. Like, there's a bunch of different polls out there. But less than half of his own party wants him to run again.
See Biden run again.
There's such a good chance he won't live through the next term. Why do we want to give another term to a guy who could very well die?
Michael in the pleb chat says it should be illegal to run at that age.
I don't agree with that, but we have to think about
Well,
it.
if it's illegal for if we can have a teenage president, we shouldn't have an old age geriatric president either.
I think wanting to have a teenage president is fucking crazy.
It's lit.
You're just so desperate to be young.
No, I am young.
Mr. 40.
I'm not
coming
40.
up on 40.
That's coming from Mr. 42.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm not insecure about my age.
I'm not. Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
You wouldn't attack my age if you weren't self-reflecting.
Is that why you attack other people's heights?
I don't know. I'm completely reactionary.
You're so full of shit. It's unbelievable.
That's not true. I'm the only honest person
Look inside my toilet. And we'll see the shit you spray all over it.
That means I'm empty of shit. I'm consistently empty.
No, you're constantly full of it.
Seems to have been slipping a bit in recent years.
Biden, who is the oldest president at age 80, would be 82 if reelected and 86 when he would finish a second term.
I just don't think we should get into age. Age is nothing but a number, really.
Okay, R. Kelly's the president.
R. Kelly in drag?
And it depends how active and how together he still is.
If you can be drafted and die for this country at 18, you should be able to also run the country. Maybe even okay, if you can go into hormone therapy to change your gender at 12, you should be able to run the country at 12.
Just all over the place.
You should be able to run the country at 12.
There was a thing during the Vietnam War because the voting age was 21 prior to Vietnam, and there was this huge concern about all these 18-year-olds being sent to Vietnam to die when they couldn't even vote on the president that was choosing to send them there. And that's when the minimum voting age was lowered to 18 after that, which makes a lot of sense. I guess we could lower the age to be president down to the minimum voting age, but I was a fucking moron when I was 18, even more so than now. So I don't.
What is it, 36?
It's 35. It's 35.
Okay.
And as long as
it could be like 30.
And you can run before you're 35 as long as you're 35 by the time you would take office.
What if you've been an American citizen for 35 years? Should you be able to run for president then?
Yeah, that's a totally different conversation about like that part of the qualification. Like, should you have to be born here? I don't know. That's a more complicated one for me than the age itself.
At his age, Biden has responded by saying, "Just watch me." But some voters want someone younger.
I don't
Just
think
watch
Joe Biden
me.
should be running again because he has policies that I enjoy, but I do.
I
feel
can
that
tell
it's
by her skin. She's a Danish Nielsen. That's milky Danish skin.
Yeah, those are the people who would pay me $20 to tell them what I watch on TV. The Nielsen's.
The Nielsen's. She's literally in front of Blue Mercury Skincare and Spa because she has that Danish skin. It's either you go to the spa once a week or you stay out of the sunlight like I do. That's the Danish curse. Or I'm the alabaster bastard. My skin will just burn up if I go out in the sunlight. I can't afford
other Democrats
spa
to
days,
kind of take up his
unfortunately.
mantle.
If Biden runs as expected, voters will be watching him closely.
He's going to have to show that he can not only be a vigorous president, but he's going to be a vigorous campaigner. He's going to have to be in the White House, but he's also going to have to be out in the field.
4 years ago, Biden released a video to launch his presidential bid, and there's some talk that he could do the same thing this time around. The president telling reporters at the White House today that he will let people know, quote, real soon.
I like this guy's tie.
I'll let you know real soon.
I'll let you know real soon, buddy. I'm going to go up right now and have an ice cream cone and sniff a kid.
Chocolate chip.
Joining me now to discuss all of this, Eugene Scott, senior
So
politics
this is the thing where they say 5%
reporter
here.
at
in this.
Axios. Simone
So I
Sanders
don't-
Townsend, former senior advisor to Vice President Harris. She's also, of course, the host of Simone on MSNBC. And Stephen Hayes, editor and CEO of The Dispatch and an NBC News contributor. Thanks to all of you for being here on a busy Monday. Eugene, I want to start with you and this lack of enthusiasm for both of the potential candidates in the general election. How do these potential campaigns counter that? How, and does turnout become, I mean, we always talk about turnout, but
Sure.
is that now really the focus?
Absolutely. And we have to remember in 2020, there was some early lack of enthusiasm for these candidates. And I think what we've seen both of the candidates do then was make their voters turn out. They put forward ideas and conviction.
Just a quick reminder, this is the first of the 3 shows this week. Wednesday will be the last official show of the week. We are going to do like a pre-show for Actual Mania on Thursday, but it would be very helpful for those of you right now who want to show your support to click the link pinned in the chat to send us a couple bucks for to help us hit our weekly goal right now. If you want to, it's $5 TTS.
And policies and promises that made people who initially said, you know what, I'm not crazy about this, ultimately do what they needed to do when Election Day came around.
Stephen, what's your take on this? I mean, only 5% want to see President Biden and former President Trump run again. That's staggeringly low. I mean, what are the implications?
I mean,
of that?
Trump and Biden? Only 5% want to see Trump and Biden run again?
Yes.
In my view, that suggests the American people have a tremendous amount of common sense. I mean, they weren't enthusiastic about these choices in 2020. Even as Eugene says, they eventually rallied to the side. But that, I think, is an effect of negative partisanship, not of enthusiasm for the candidates. You know,
They seem to be pretty enthusiastic about Trump.
with Monica. And
There was a
Steve, you
big
called it stunning.
red wave. Not as big as Tim Pool would have thought, but there were a lot of people that were pro-Trump.
I think it is absolutely stunning when you look at these numbers. When you look at the Joe Biden numbers in particular, we all know that there's a strong group of Republicans, independents, and Democrats who are opposed to Donald Trump. But the Joe Biden numbers in particular are stunning because he's the sitting president. He's the incumbent. He has this huge advantage built in. And Monica told you that she thinks the White House strategy is going to be to say, well, watch him. I would just say we'd like to watch him. We actually don't see that much of him. He's not doing press conferences. He's not giving a lot of interviews. He's not out there. And if he runs, he's going to have to be on the campaign trail. I would suggest to you that the White House might not be as confident in private when they tell us to watch him as they are in
He
public.
could lose. Like, I don't know. It depends on who he runs against. I think he'll win against Trump. DeSantis, I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
I was thinking that Trump would probably boot DeSantis out of the primaries, like split it.
Yeah, I think Trump could win against DeSantis in the primaries, but I feel like DeSantis has a better chance of beating Biden. So, like, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with their own primaries. It's weird to see, like, when the party runs against itself, who wins. It may not always be the best person to beat the other party. You know,
That's why they went with Biden, right? They swore he was the best person to beat the party, even if he wasn't the best choice for Americans. We had all these small-time candidates rising up to the occasion throughout the primaries, and they're like, well, we'll just hold out for Biden. And like last minute, well, Biden can beat Trump. Poll that Biden can beat Trump. And then Biden, near like the very end of everything, had the commanding lead, and everybody else stepped down. But for a while, we thought it was going to be the Buttigieg. We thought there was gonna be...
I think he was going for the Veep role, and he ended up getting a job with the administration, transportation secretary.
Give comments like that.
Simone, what about that?
He was pretty young. He would have been like one of the youngest presidents ever.
I think Cory Booker won the primaries, really, because he's married to who's the hot girl that I'm thinking of? She was in Clerks 2, Kids. Rosario Dawson. He's married to Rosario Dawson. That's the real winner. Cory Booker.
And does the president, the administration, his campaign need to make him more available on the campaign trail?
Look, I think that it is retail politics that wins campaigns, and retail politics is being out there with the people. That's where we hit a lot of diners, the coffee shops, what we were all used to prior to, COVID-19 and the pandemic hitting us. And frankly, retail politics is where Joe Biden shines. And so I do think that the president himself is going to want more face time with people, with individuals. But this is going to be very different than 2020, right? This is, first of all, he is the sitting president of the United States of America, which means, yes, he wants to go out there and campaign, but he's got a trip to Ireland coming up. He will be making more international trips. And increasingly, it is hard to make the case domestically while you are out about in the world doing the business of the presidency. So I think there'll be a balance and a rope that they have to walk, but it is going to be absolutely critical that the president is out there with the people, speaking with folks, not behind a podium on prompter.
And I think we have a word cloud of voters' concerns about President Biden running again, and it really kind of underscores.
We have concerns.
Some of the points
We're not
that you're
sure
making.
what Biden has actually done since becoming president, but we know that it's 2023 and Black lives still don't matter. We know that it's 2023 and everything that we were voting for anti-Trump. We don't have our college tuition. We don't have all the other things we were asking for. We said we would go with Biden. The police are not being defunded. Why did we vote for Biden? Because Biden is status quo.
Simone, that voters are concerned about the issue of age at 80 years old. Eugene, he obviously is the oldest president here. Age, too old, younger. The White House, the president's emerging campaign knows that they have to address this. But you heard Monica talk a little bit about strategy. But how do they do this in an effective way? Because to some extent, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I think to a lesser degree, some of these issues.
I don't want to hear multiple people on the fucking news use the term "it is what it is."
It is what Jared says that all the time.
Yeah, that's
it is what it
that's
is,
the type
bruh.
of person that should be saying "it is what it is." A fucking do nothing motherfucker.
Right.
Not my news team who's trying to describe to me the presidential politics. I don't want to hear a double "it is what it is." What the fuck?
Were concerned.
It is what it is, man.
And what the White House
That's
did
what
at
it
the
isn't.
time when he was a candidate was convince voters that he had the most experience, and this was going to show up as wisdom, and especially compared to opponent who did not have this type of institutional wisdom and experience and discipline. And so I think they're going to lean in on that. They're also likely going to get younger surrogates. We saw the Instagram influencers come on board. I was talking to some people with Maxwell Frost's team. There really is going to be an effort, I believe, to try to get some surrogates who can convince people that he has what's best.
It's interesting because Biden is just a little bit more liked by voters, Stephen, than former President Trump. Is that significant given how far out we are from 2024?
He's just a little more liked than Donald Trump, who is currently waging a culture war.
We're voting for the person we hate the least, if you're voting at all. And that's why so many people don't vote, because there's no one they like enough to actually go through the effort to vote for. And then the people that are voting, they have to vote. They have to hold their nose and vote for the person that's against the person they don't want to win.
Well, likability matters in a general election. That's no secret. But if you look at the splits among Republican enthusiasm for Trump and Democratic enthusiasm,
I really wish Jesse would run. But his whole scenario where he would end up running is so unlikely.
Because he knows he's not going to win. He knows there's no chance. He knows the fucking system is rigged.
There would be a chance if he had ballot access in all 50 states and if he could debate.
Possibly.
There would be a chance. The odds would still be stacked against him, but I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of how honest he is. And like that touch of honesty, it helped him in Minnesota, which is a lot smaller of a scale, but people were refreshed by that level of honesty in politics.
He also had the help of being on WWE television all the time.
A lot of people didn't know him from. In fact, that kind of worked against him, like from a public perception, because a lot of people think wrestling is just silly, fake bullshit. You know, it's like the circus act or whatever. I'll be right back.
We should front Bernie Sanders with Jesse as the VP.
Yeah, like Ben just said, he wanted Jesse Ventura to run, and didn't like that Jesse Ventura had all of the things, the qualifications for running, but those qualifications were also what Ben said Jesse Ventura would have to win. So it's like Jesse Ventura knows there's no fucking chance. He says the chances where he might have a chance and where he would run if he had a chance, but we know there is no chance. We all agree, if you don't have all 50 ballots and a podium to speak on, who the fuck is going to come out and vote for you for any reasonable amount? I really wonder, like, what it would take to get, like, I remember H. Ross Perot in the early
Jesse
90s.
Ventura to win, he would have to endorse the boner spoon.
Dude, just give one thwack to that fucking rager. Give one hard thwack with a boner spoon, and that could be the future. Ventura,
the only prototype.
Ventura Spoon 2024. Boner Spoon. Oh, Josh,
he always
how you
runs
doing,
as
man?
independent anyway, right?
Yeah, he'd probably be indie. How's your night going?
Yeah, pretty chill. Tired. Work tomorrow, but
What do you feel about news? Do you think it's so fun? Do you love watching the news?
not always, but I like watching it through other people.
Yeah, I think that we're doing a great service to the public by watching the news and cutting through like the news and adding fart and dick jokes so it's entertaining.
Exactly.
And if you, I really like the news when it's cannibalizing itself, when shit's flopping and falling apart.
Yeah, this whole thing's kind of insane.
Bustelo in the pleb chat says, Billy, Jared, same diff. What the fuck are you talking about? Bustelo? What the fuck? I hope you eat piss ice cubes. Fuck you. But yeah, back to you, Josh. I'm sorry I had to.
No worries.
I had to get torn away by this Bustelo character who, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if he's a predator. I don't know.
We can't say for sure. There's no evidence against it, though.
Not for or against it. I don't know. I have no idea. That's so fucked. But yeah, it's always a crapshoot with news. Sometimes news fucking is just straight boring. But I think tonight's been a good news segment. I've been enjoying all this drama. It's just really the drama of the news that I'm enjoying.
Yeah. It's crazy because I live in New York and fucking even here, like everyone's like already saying like, oh, Tucker was let go on like conspiracy and shit and blah, 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 blah. Like they're talking him up like crazy.
Do you think that he's going to have some sort of new movement behind him now that he's a free agent? You think there's a lot of grassroots support?
I don't know. I was thinking about it earlier. I was wondering if the movement was going to go towards like Fox News or Tucker himself. You know, I was wondering if like the movement was going to go like, oh, Fox News is like some victim here or Tucker is some victim, you know, because both would play out pretty much the same in the culture war aspect.
Do you think Tucker will be cutting into the Nick Fuentes fan base if he goes for like some sort of...
I was joking about it, but I really don't think so. That would be... I think that'd be a loss on his part.
Well,
right?
Now with the story about him like being anti-Semitic, they would welcome him with open arms over there, right?
Yeah, but that's like a niche group, no? Like
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough money to make his time worthwhile. John
Jesse
Doe.
Ventura for president, Bernie for VP.
Discuss.
Oh, I just said that.
Yeah, the idea
Or
that would ever happen.
I don't think so.
You have to understand that we are a two-party system, not because the two parties are the best, but because they're the easiest to control to a population. If America was really about freedom and voting really mattered, we wouldn't have two choices that are different flavors of the same fucking corporate outcome, the same American status quo. We never really see change.
Well, that's why Bernie was kind of pushed out during the primaries when he ran, because he's not even a Democrat. He was trying to run as a Democrat, but he officially is independent. So that's why.
And he's older than Trump, right? I mean,
yes, he's older than Biden.
Biden, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Biden.
A lot more.
Republicans are more enthusiastic about.
John Doe says, let's talk about the esoteric culture behind toxic news reporting. That's a big conversation to have. Like, where do you want to start? You want to start with the advertisers that are funding the news, who get to really control what's said on the news and get to control where everything goes? Like, at what point, where does the toxicity start and where does the toxicity end, right?
Where does the toxicity start and where does the news start or end?
Yeah, like it's very much controlled narrative by the people who pay for it, the companies and the advertisers that pay for it. You're not going to be able to have any sort of news anymore. Everything's entertainment based these days.
Trump at this
Everything's
point.
controlled.
Now, that befuddles me, but there are a lot of Republicans who do like Donald Trump, and as Steve pointed out, he goes through these legal battles and these legal moments, and there seems to be this rallying around around Trump effect. I will say, what we saw in the Manhattan DA may well be very different from his role in the insurrection, his role in trying to steal an election, where I think voters, Republican voters in particular, will be reminded of some of the things that.
All right. Yeah.
These election cycles were getting funner ever since Trump won.
Yeah, here's
that
one.
First one.
Here's one. Hear why this GOP strategist thinks Trump is concerned about DeSantis. He did start attacking DeSanctimonious really early on.
Will it be deja vu all over again in the 2024 presidential election? President Joe Biden expected to announce he will run for a second term soon. We expect perhaps this Tuesday. Donald Trump has already announced on the Republican side, of course, he's casting a large shadow over other GOP hopefuls. Joining us now to talk about this, CNN political commentators Maria Cardona and Alice Stewart, co-hosts of the podcast Hot Mics from Left to Right. Maria, let's start with President Biden's big announcement expected on Wednesday. And by the way, we've just learned he's planning to make Julie Chavez Rodriguez, a senior White House advisor, the person who's overseeing his reelection campaign. She's the granddaughter of labor organizer Cesar Chavez. So
Commie Cesar Chavez? What?
Very big news. But let me just throw this out there for you, Maria. What about some of this latest polling that shows a majority of Democrats, we're talking about in the Democratic Party, want to see some fresh faces. They don't want to see Joe Biden. Caveat always being, Joe Biden is used to this. He's used to this.
So let me start with my dear friend, Julie Chavez Rodriguez.
I knew you were going to do that
anyway. Julie Chavez.
It is historic.
Yeah.
The first time a Latina or Latino, Latinx, has this historic title, campaign manager for
It's
a sitting
Latinx,
president's
you dumb
reelection.
bitch.
Yeah, get it right.
And I couldn't be more thrilled, more proud. This shows the hard work that she has proven for so many decades. There is no one better than her that knows the intersection of politics and grassroots outreach, campaigning, what it really means to have the pulse of the nation and the communities at her fingertips, and being able to advise and guide and
There is
essentially
no better
manage.
brand name than Chavez to get the socialist Democrats behind Biden.
The reelection campaign.
Wait, what's
for
the sell here? Oh, as campaign manager. Okay, so never mind. I see.
Yeah.
the next president of the United States. So I am so thrilled and so proud, and such a great, great day and great news for the campaign.
In Albuquerque, there's a Cesar Chavez Street. Like one of the streets downtown is named after him.
On the numbers, look, you know this, and you alluded to it. Low poll numbers, people second guessing him,
He's
people
been there
having low
before.
expectations, exactly. People underestimating him. This is where this man eats dinner.
Yeah.
This is not.
And Trump candidates,
Okay,
50% of
let's-
Republicans don't want to see him run again.
So these are the numbers on Trump. Of
They
course,
don't wanna
Democrats.
see Trump
writing on the wall.
Yeah, of course, Democrats are going to be at 93% in this
We don't want to see Trump run again.
because they don't want even a chance of him being president again.
44% of Republicans are like,
That's
no.
a huge amount when you think about
I
it.
think they
It's-
see the writing on the wall, to be honest. Like, he's gonna.
He already lost
probably
once.
Ruin their election. Yeah.
What do you think?
His hair looks like cotton candy.
Yes. It's a
What
delicious
about these
dessert
numbers?
hair.
I know you have made the case time and
butterscotch
again.
cotton
There's going to
candy.
be an anti-Trump candidate out there.
I just thought about literally eating Trump's hair, and it made me kind
There's
of
going to emerge in all
gag.
of this.
How high do you think you'd have to be to like actually confuse it and take a nibble?
Oh, dude.
Is it attached to him?
Let's say like you're at a baseball game or something. He's just sitting right in front of you.
And I would think
And
it's
you
like,
get
like
What type of drug would you be most likely to eat Trump's hair on?
DMT or something. I don't know. Something where I'm like completely out of it.
DMT is actually Donald Trump's initials.
No, it's Jay. His middle name is Jay. I was like, what? I was like, is his middle name Michael?
Numbers
Trump
make it
took
pretty,
the DMT.
Matthew?
it's pretty much tough sledding
Right.
with these other candidates.
Looking right now at the stats you just put about the GOP primary, it's really clearly a two-man race at this point with Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis.
If you were
And-
high and you were eating Trump's hair, would you get pissed off if there was like a food in it?
I don't know. What a weird question.
While Donald Trump right now is in double digits ahead of DeSantis, DeSantis has not gotten into the race yet. He has not.
Yeah, if they're saying, Trump has a double-digit lead in current polls over DeSantis, but DeSantis has not announced he's running. When he does that, at first there's going to be like a big spike at first, and then we'll see if he can hold it. Like, I remember going back when all the Democrats were running against each other last time, and there was a new front runner like every few weeks, and you'd see like someone be at the top, and then they dip down in the polling, and someone new would take. And Biden was always like towards the bottom of that until like the very end.
Yeah.
There was like this magical like upturn in the polling where like all of a sudden Biden's the guy.
It's almost like none of it mattered at all.
Put out his strategy, and the reason we know that
I
this
wanna
is,
eat Ice Spice's
a concern
hair.
for Donald Trump.
It looks
Donald
delicious.
Trump continues
Ice
to go
Spice
after
is fucking
DeSantis
fire.
time and time again.
Her
He
hair
only
looks
does
tasty.
that if he sees someone as a threat. And look, DeSantis, the Florida governor, is smart. He is pushing back against Donald Trump and saying that we need to have more of a positive optimism.
Yeah, I think maybe Billy was getting Hugo and Cesar Chavez
Oops.
confused. Cesar Chavez was a workers' rights activist, especially for Latinos that were like working on farms and shit
Sounds
like that.
commie to me.
It's not.
Optimistic vision for the future and pushing back on Donald Trump and all of the things that Donald Trump stands for in terms of election lies and
Workers'
conspiracy
rights,
theories. We're going to see
commie.
a whole new ball game once he gets into the race. But look, there's tremendous ambivalence across the board with Trump as well as Biden. We see the poll numbers show that nearly 70% of Americans, Republicans and Democrats, do not want Biden to run.
Hugo Chavez is dead, and yeah, he definitely was communist. Venezuela was definitely a communist country. Like Citgo, you know the Citgo gas stations, those were owned by the Venezuelan government. Like the oil came from Venezuela.
Well, I'm pretty sure what I was doing originally was quoting American History X. So if the quote is not Cesar Kame Chavez from American History X, if I misquoted American History X, my apologies.
It was the dog whisperer.
It's
numbers. They
been
don't
a
want Donald
long
Trump
time
to
since
run.
I watched
so
the
what
film.
we're seeing is that most Americans do not want to see a sequel of a Biden-Trump matchup in 2024. Sequels might be popular in the box office, but not so much at the ballot box. So it will be interesting to see. Obviously, Biden is the top of the ticket for the Democrats. It's not a foregone conclusion that Donald Trump is the GOP.
Sequel's usually not as good as the original, too,
Exactly.
is what a lot of folks say. Sometimes.
Sequel's not as good as the original. Fuck you.
Across the chop, the sequel.
This is not Avatar, the world of water. This is the fucking presidency. We don't want to see a sequel on Biden or Trump.
I want to see a
She
sequel
brought
to
up
Water
Ron
World.
DeSantis.
Yeah.
Let's watch.
I want to see Ocasio-Cortez come in and just sweep it.
Still hasn't announced, but he's sure acting
man,
like
that's
he's running.
big.
He took this thinly veiled swipe at Trump.
Yeah, she's not going to run this time unless Biden doesn't run and they actually do a primary, which I don't think they would do.
Event in Utah yesterday.
Is she old enough even?
Yeah, she's
She
old
is
enough
this
now.
year.
She wasn't old enough to run last time. She was barely not old enough to run last time.
Republicans need to shake the culture of losing that has developed in recent years.
Eva Longoria searching for Mexico.
Ooh.
Yeah. She was on Desperate Housewives.
The time for excuses is over. We must get it done. If we as Republicans provide a fresh vision for American revival, then Republicans will win all across the country.
Look at that politician hair. He's got like the quintessential politician hair. I think he could win. We'll see.
He uses the sweat from all the books he burns.
Overseas this week, he's facing issues at home with donors, activists, Florida lawmakers in D.C. We've seen Florida Republicans already announced.
Ron DeSantis is into scat play. Link that article,
Just filmed
please.
My promo for the Go Home episode of Mania. Bring it, girl.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, the go home episode, we're gonna have a competitor from actual Mania join us. Smarty's gonna be here, and he's got a surprise for everyone. And by the way, you were right. Ruby Jules is back.
Yeah.
He came back.
I knew Ruby Jules was coming back.
That they're going to go for
I can't guarantee he'll make it to actual Mania now, but I knew he'd come back.
Someone likened what he does to watching a bird run into the same window over and over and over and over again. I thought it was an interesting analogy.
I think he just gets tired of being picked on by the mean
doesn't get
people in
picked on.
Discord.
which is kind of not good for Ron DeSantis at this point.
Yeah.
But Maria, you know, there's a lot of time
There's a
for him
lot
to
of
make
time.
up
That's right.
ground.
That's right. There's no question. Alice is right. We haven't really seen what the
And I don't mean to
primary
go, but he
campaign.
stacks
Tucker Carlson made a Rumble account.
Joe Biden, according to the polling.
If he's on
And-
Rumble,
and-
that'd be
and-
hilarious.
And again, polling right now really means nothing.
Didn't they just give Steven Crowder a ton of money?
I don't know. Maybe. I know Rumble is partially owned by Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin owns like a huge chunk of Rumble. And I found that out because he was on Bill Maher's podcast and they were talking about it. And he was talking about how he started Rumble and that kind of shit.
What you see on the other side with Ron DeSantis should be concerning because it's a trend, right?
The people Bill Maher gets on his podcast, the like wide range of people he has on
I
is
don't know
kind of
why
mind
Trump went
blowing.
with Ron DeSanctimonious. Calling him Little Ronnie is much more emasculating.
Little Ronnie. Little baby Ronnie, you want to come suck my Trump teat?
He just had Richard Dreyfuss on, and I'm like, when's the last time I've seen a Richard Dreyfuss movie? And I was like,
What about Bob? Oh.
Mr. Holland's Opus came out after What About Bob? That was the last one I saw, and I was in high school. So, like, what the fuck does Richard Dreyfuss do?
And spends all his money on...
Jaws was probably... He was in Jaws, and he was in Close Encounter of the Third Kind. I think that's kind of where he peaked.
I don't know. He made a lot of money afterwards, I'm sure.
But the craziest thing about Richard Dreyfuss was like, are you familiar with Atheism is Unstoppable?
Yeah.
He was a guy we had a feud with in the old DP days. AIU, Atheism is Unstoppable. And he's like probably in his 50s. There's a video of when they read the O.J. Simpson verdict. And in the back of the courtroom is a way young-looking Atheism is Unstoppable, and sitting right next to him is Richard Dreyfuss. It's so weird.
Who would have thought that that's
It's
where Richard
so
Dreyfuss' career
weird.
would go down, and that's where Atheism is Unstoppable's career would go up? He passed the torch.
And the thing is, it's weird that was where like he was there for that trial, because Atheism is Unstoppable's entire grift is like complaining about how black people get away with committing crimes all the time.
M85 in the chat says he used to date his wife's daughter, assuming he means Richard Dreyfuss's
Or
wife's daughter.
Is it AIU's
Or
wife's
AIU's
daughter?
wife's daughter. You gotta be more clear, M85. Whose wife's daughter is you dating? I used to date my mom's daughter.
Is fizzling in the polls.
Your sister?
No.
Isn't that your mom's daughter though?
It was a joke, Ben.
The trend
Missing the mark again.
is that he's not going up, he's going down.
My
That's
mark
not
hit
what you-
perfectly.
More effort,
You wanna
please.
see
My
right
mark
at the
hit
point where you're gonna
perfectly.
launch.
Everybody laughed before you were like, "You mean your sister?" No. And everybody already laughed and moved on.
No, what do you mean everybody?
Literally, the entire chat was like, "LOL, LOL."
No, they weren't. I'm looking at it right now.
I deleted them because I didn't want to brag.
To me speaks volumes. And what we've heard from these people is that they have known him for years. It's not an issue of, well, they don't know him, which is the argument you can make about the American people. These are people that know him, have known him for years, and have said he is not a likable guy. And so that is not a good place to be right before you launch your election campaign.
I know my dear friend Maria and our fellow Democrats would love nothing more than to just take DeSantis down at this point and not have him be a viable contender. Because to your point, Jim, the polls show in the general election, not the primaries, the general election head-to-head with Biden and Trump, Biden is ahead 3 points. In the general election head-to-head with Biden and DeSantis, DeSantis is ahead 3 points. So I'm sure they would much rather take on Donald Trump and DeSantis, but that's not.
But here's my question, Alice.
Here's my question.
You know, and you know these numbers all so well. Why doesn't the rest of the Republican Party see that? Because wouldn't you think that having Ron DeSantis at the top of the ticket is going to be much better for all of these down ballot candidates? I mean, theoretically speaking, at this point, we don't know what's going to happen between now and Election Day 2024 than Donald Trump. But yet, if you look at the poll numbers, Trump is so out in front of DeSantis right now. And as Maria is saying, he's showing some signs of fizzling.
Right,
you know.
and you know how this works. When we're talking about GOP voters, the Republican base, Donald Trump does have the support right now at this stage of the game. But again, they have not, DeSantis and these...
His name's Vadim Newquist. Yeah, that was another thing AIU did back in the day. He doxed Creationist Cat. Like, Vadim didn't make his name public. And AIU's thing was like, he had a guy who could like get into the metadata on photos that people would post and get like the location and figure out the real names of people. And he would just like, he'd be like, oh, I love doxing people. It was such a crazy time. That was such a fucking crazy time.
Other top names out there have not hit the campaign trail with the full message to show the contrast and put them head to head. But, you know, we hear from the evangelical leaders in Iowa and rational Republicans across the country. They are ready to turn the page. They are ready for character over chaos. They are ready for someone that supports the policies of Trump but is not the dumpster fire that he is.
Very quickly, Jim, let me be very clear. I actually don't want to see a rematch of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And I think that's where all
I don't want that either. I want at least one of them to be different.
Those numbers are. Why? Because it was so toxic because of all of the trash and disgusting.
And we can move.
Here's the video of in the back. Yeah, that's AIU in the back.
It's been a long
next
time since I heard the name autism is unstoppable.
Autism, yeah, we used to call him that. Yeah, that's him in the back sitting next to Richard Dreyfuss there. That's so weird, dude. It's so fucking weird. Richard Dreyfuss. Have you ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
When I was a kid, I used to play with my mashed potatoes.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss made a mountain out of mashed potatoes. Devil's Tower I think it's in Wyoming.
I got in trouble because I made like this giant pussy mound out of my mashed potatoes and started having sex with it on the dinner table.
No, you
so I
didn't.
wasn't allowed to play with my food anymore.
Liar.
Liar?
Yeah.
Ben, you have no proof to deny my claim.
That's not how proof works.
It is. I made the claim. If you want to call me a liar, you have to prove it.
Did you eat
You
them
can't
after?
prove a negative. You have to prove the positive claim.
You can prove a negative.
No, you can't.
Sure you can.
And tonight we are tracking new developments in the Fulton County
You're so
investigation
full of shit,
into
it's
the 2020
unbelievable.
presidential
No,
election.
I'm actually
So
full
what's
of
going on
joy
here?
and
Well,
love
District Attorney Fonnie
and
Willis-
100% funny jokes.
I'm actually all these other good
I'm definitely
things.
not the bad things
The
you say I am.
typical Billy
That's-
MO.
your mistakes are not my ownerships.
Remove the attorney
Just
representing
because you don't get
Penn State
100% of my jokes
And these
doesn't mean they're not all absolutely
They're all
hilarious.
low effort.
They're literally next level. They're the only thing keeping this show fresh and fun. Is my 100%.
I thought you were going to say fresh and fit.
My 100% funny joke ratio.
Let's talk about you some more, Billy.
We
what
should.
about you? Tell me
we
more.
should, because I'm actually more liked on this podcast than Trump and Biden. combined.
So 6% of Americans want to see you.
No, this podcast, I have 100% joke ratio, 100% approval ratio. Literally anybody who dislikes me, they left years ago. Right now,
Yeah,
Drunken
I know.
Peasants podcast is the Billy Show with Ben and Josh.
Ethical mess. The special grand jury has already issued a report recommending indictments against several individuals. And DA Willis has yet to say if she plans to seek criminal charges.
What was this news story even?
I don't know. He talked over it the whole time about himself.
And tonight
Let's
we are
listen to it one
tracking
more
new
time.
developments in the Fulton County investigation into the 2020 presidential election. So what's going on here? Well, District Attorney Fani Willis filing a motion this afternoon to remove the attorney representing 10 fake electors. And these electors are Republicans who cast electoral college ballots.
Okay.
Falsely
Anything
claiming that
happens
Donald
to Earth after the end of Close Encounters with the Third Kind. My money is alien reality TV.
I have no idea. They don't show that. They don't show like what happens after we make contact.
Trump won the 2020 election. So in the filing, DA Willis says the attorney's representation of 10 electors has become an ethical mess. The special grand jury has already issued a report recommending indictments against several
What do you
individuals.
think happened afterwards?
Well, hold on. I want to hear this.
And DA Willis has yet to say if she plans to seek criminal charges.
Okay. So it has to do with Trump trying to like finagle the Georgia votes when he called in like a mob boss being like, I need you to find me X amount of votes. What do I think happened? I don't know anything. Like, we don't even know the nature of these aliens. Maybe later on they just enslave the human race. Like, who knows? They communicate through like music, which is kind of interesting. When they come out, they're like grays. They're like the typical like gray aliens, like tall, skinny with like the big eyes and that kind of thing.
I think they use their advanced technology to solve all of mankind's problems.
That's what happens in Star Trek.
And we had to come up with new problems because we were bored. That would be the sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It would be Close Calls of the fucking Fourth Kind.
A prosecutor is ordering
I think Mars Attacks happens.
into the confrontation between a
Yeah.
homeowner who
That
fired
could be
multiple
it.
shots at a
Yeah, like this person was driving for Instacart and accidentally pulled in the wrong driveway, and people just like the person shot at their car. It's crazy. And then there was the other story about the cheerleader that like tried to get in the wrong car and got shot.
And there was like a
why are people
13-year-old
just
kid that went to
shooting?
the wrong door and got shot and murdered.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Instacart driver's vehicle. It happened earlier this month when the driver and his girlfriend accidentally pulled into the wrong driveway in Southwest Ranches in Broward County. Right now, police say no one is being charged as investigators cannot determine if a crime was committed. And
You shouldn't be shooting at people who are turning around in your driveway.
But now that I know that there might not be a crime committed, I got to get me a house in Broward County.
And order a bunch of fucking DoorDash.
And literally give all my neighbors DoorDash gift certificates. The second I move in, all of them are getting DoorDash gift certificates. And I'm just waiting there like, come on.
Just trained with a sniper rifle in
Come
the fucking
on.
window.
Come on, Broward County. You set a precedent. I'm like, hey, new neighbors, I got you guys DoorDash gift cards. I'll give them to you every week. Come
start
on,
with
get your gift cards.
breaking news
They come up
tonight.
to my lawn to get their gift cards. And I'm just like, motherfucker.
A horrific
I start
murder
picking
and a
them off.
father accused. This is 60-year-old John Eisen.
This is crazy. This is out of Spokane. This is a crazy.
This is the guy that shot somebody, right?
No, it's crazier than that. Listen, this is crazy.
Been facing a judge today. He's a Spokane dad accused of murdering a man he says sold his daughter for sex and stuffing that body in a car's trunk. Spokane police say the murder actually happened a year ago.
But the body wasn't found until last week. That's when someone looked inside an abandoned vehicle. That body has been identified as 19-year-old Andrew Sorensen. The Washington State Patrol put out this picture last November, saying he had been reported missing. Caitlin Knapp is here tonight with what the accused killer admitted about why he did it.
According to charging documents, John Eisman told
Billy's
police
going to do a recreation of that scene of Ralph Fiennes sniping in Schindler's List.
I mean,
sold
I don't watch a lot of movies, so I'm not sure what scene you're talking about. but-
Eisman's daughter into a prostitution ring. And after driving to Seattle to rescue her, he went over to confront Sorensen himself. In court today, Eisman didn't say much. This was just a first appearance, and he wasn't asked to enter a plea. But In an interview with Spokane police, he waived his rights and told them what happened. He said last fall, he found out Sorensen was going to be at a trailer park in Airway Heights. Eisman told police he confronted Sorensen, zip-tied his hands and feet, and shoved him into a trunk of a Honda Accord. Eisman then told police he punched Sorensen a few times and hit him in the head with a cinder block, knocking him out. Finally, Eisman told police he stabbed Sorensen multiple times in the stomach. Eisman told police he abandoned the car with Sorensen inside in a remote part of Spokane County. Someone moved it last month to North Spokane, right next to Rochester Hills Park. A couple guys opened up the car and found the body inside.
It had been in there a long time, so that was probably pretty gross.
In addition to his own confession, court documents say Eisman's neighbor called Crime Check late last month and told them Eisman said he killed someone and hid the body in a trunk. Eisman said it was because the victim had sold his daughter for sex. Eisman has no criminal history. He's now facing a first-degree murder charge. A judge set his bail today at $1 million. I'm Caitlin Knapp.
I mean, he already admitted to it. He's going to get life in prison. He's going to get life in prison. I mean, maybe this guy was doing all that shit, but when you murder someone,
Is that toxic masculinity? Where you're not a good enough father to keep your daughter out of the hands of a pimp, so you kill the pimp?
I don't know. I don't know what toxic masculinity is.
I just want to know which part of it was toxic. Was it the pimp or the father? The murderous father or the
I mean, I understand why he was mad and wanted to murder the guy, but now he's throwing his life away. Like, maybe he just could have, like, fucking beat his ass or something.
I mean, he also could have tried to defend himself with a lawyer, but he chose not to. He stood on that ground
because he knows he murdered. He knows
a lot of people know they murder and they still get a lawyer and go through it.
Right.
He was just like, no, I want the world to know what I did to this guy and why. And it looks like the judge is not going to take any sort of leniency on him. He's like $1 million bail. And this guy's just like, this is what I did. I don't know where I went wrong with my daughter. I wish I could have been there to save her. But I will say this. The guy that took her and pimped her out is in a fucking trunk because I punched him a bunch of times before hitting him with a cinder block and locking him in there for ages while he festered. She was an innocent flower. All girls are. All girls are innocent flowers. They're all beautiful, innocent flowers. Josh, you ever pimp anybody and get caught and beat up and thrown in the trunk?
I cannot confirm nor deny these allegations.
Yeah, I've never pimped anybody. I got asked. There was this woman, Buffy the Trick Slayer. She was a woman I met at the Club Hollywood Casino in Shoreline. And she came in and she looked like kind of like a sexy Tracy Morgan. You ever see Tracy Morgan from 30 Rock?
Yeah.
She was like a banging Tracy Morgan, okay? She had like
This
curves
was the
and
pimp
everything.
or the prost.
This is the prostitute. She was
Okay.
she Buffy the Trick Slayer, she was pretty lonely and she started buying me tons of drinks. And she's like, I became her new friend. And she would like, okay, hold on. And she would go out and she would go and make prostitute money, come back and buy me more drinks. She'd come back with hands full of cash from blowing people and give me more drinks. And she didn't have a lot of friends in the area. And she said, I have an Escalade. You can drive it and you can drive me around to all my meetings if you would like to be my pimp. She says, I need somebody to drive me. You could be my pimp. And I thought about it for a second because I mean, an Escalade it's a nice car.
It's a schwanky ride, yeah.
For a wannabe rapper to have at the time. And so I thought to myself,
wannabe, come on, you're great.
Well, I mean, yeah, but at the time I was still pushing. You know, this was many years ago.
Gotcha.
At the time, I had aspirations, and a Escalade could have pushed me, you know, into the next upper echelon of hip hop community. If I had a Buffy the Trick Slayer Escalade, that might have been what would take me to the next spot. But
yeah, you would have had the street cred too of being a pimp.
Yeah, I turned her down. She was a sweet girl. She invited me to her shit motel to watch Adult Swim and hang out. And I don't know, I didn't feel too comfortable being in a shit motel because I'm privileged. She didn't have bad breath, but we did karaoke one night, and she would only sing the song That Girl Was Poison That girl was poison. Yeah, that's the only song she would do. Like, oh, Buffy the Trick Slayer up with Poison. She was cool though. She was a good person. She did a Christmas show with me one night too, a rap show because she rapped. We did midnight mass at the Blue Moon Tavern. She was quite a character. I got a lot of love for that crazy prostitute rapper extraordinaire. A real character.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like I've interacted with a lot of prostitutes and never a pimp.
Oh, I've known a few pimps. They're not the greatest people. The ones I met, at least. A lot of them are dead, actually. Actually, I know a couple pimps that are good guys. I take that back.
This is an In-N-Out burger drive-through. What is it?
Road rage?
Yeah, basically.
The Santa Clarita diet? Oh, shit. That's Drew Barrymore.
This video is coming to us from Santa Clarita, where
They're
people
throwing-
in
Oh,
two
man.
cars can be seen throwing
Your little
things
cakes are
at
falling
each
out
other.
there.
This is in an In-N-Out drive-through. They threw bleach,
Water
juice,
fight.
water bottles, all of it
Bleach?
going back
Yeah.
and forth, along with a lot of nasty language. All of this happening just before 12:30, just outside the Six Flags Magic Mountain, near the Old Road and the 5. Now, it's not known
your
exactly.
cooter's popping.
Yeah, they've got her blurred out from the waist down.
What started all of this, but Santa Clarita Sheriff's deputies say they're looking into it.
Wow. And
Interesting.
I wonder what they all
I just had
ordered.
In-N-Out for the first time, I think, this year even.
Really? How'd you like it?
Yeah. Liked it a lot. That and Whataburger. When I was in
Whataburger's
Texas.
amazing. You know how at the end of Sleeping Beauty, what's her name? The evil queen. What's her name? Maleficent.
Oh, Maleficent, yeah.
Yeah. You know how she turns into a dragon?
Yeah.
The dragon at I think Disneyland caught on fire and burned down.
Oh no.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Watch.
It's fucking Burning Man.
Part of the light show at the end of the day before they close the park.
Yeah, this blazing effigy. This is heartbreaking. Did anything else burn or just the dragon?
I think just the dragon.
Oh man, I wonder how long it's going to take them to replace that thing.
Yeah, it's huge too. So it probably will take some time. Damn. I think it was supposed to breathe fire and something backfired and it just caught itself on fire instead.
Yeah, they got quite a machine there
Wow,
running.
look
at
at that
Disneyland.
go.
Oh my god.
There's a little fucking regarded Timmy there with the lightsaber swinging it around.
I
in
would
front of the
not be
camera.
standing that close to it.
Oh, they
Gotta get fucking closer.
They're using them
Climb
to get. They're using them to get them to fall back. Those aren't lightsabers. They're directional traffic controllers.
Yeah.
The Build-A-Bears.
The Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Bohemian Grove.
That was amazing.
There should be like a. They have these influencer parks or museums or something where influencers go to like take pictures in fancy rooms for their Instagram. It's like an Instagram, I don't know, model museum. It's just a place for people to go take selfies, a selfie museum or something.
There is a selfie museum in Seattle near
Yeah,
the
they
gum
have
wall.
they have those. They should have like 1% museums where you pay a price. You go into this place and you spend the day being treated like you're like the elite. Obviously, everything's going to be like not 100% accurate, but you'll feel what it's like to be super rich. So then, when you obviously have to work too, right? You have to do like a busy ass job that the super rich have to do as well. So you'll realize you don't even want to be rich anymore, and all these people that struggle their entire lives for money will just settle and be happy. Like Scared Straight, but it's like spoiled rich.
Affluenza. Here's King Cobes. He got some more fan mail. Let's check this out. He got a new puppet, which is very disturbing looking.
Is it a yuck puppet?
It's a puppet of him wearing his like little green banana hammock.
Oh, is it one like Berwick has and Boogie has?
It has, his like green banana hammock thing that he wears.
Dear Josh,
Borat hammock
including
thing?
A special copy of At the Gates of Hell with the necklace and customized King Cobra bottle caps. I hope you like them. Sweet. The necklace chain is kind of bad quality, so it will probably break if you wear it. It's more for display,
Okay.
for sure.
He's got his 2 stuffed cobras. He's got like a small one and a really big one now.
Now, if this puppet is really well done, this only adds further credence to my claim that he's going to hit a celebrity tipping point where he starts getting really cool shit.
He'll be on Hollywood Squares eventually.
I've also
Is that
included a
still
custom
around?
King Cobra dummy.
They'll
that
bring it
made-
back for Cobes.
That I made.
He'll be the center. He'll be the center square.
They'll do lolly cow squares, and they'll just have all the lol cows in the Hollywood Squares. There'll be DSP, Cobes, have Wings of Redemption and Boogie on opposite ends. It'll be great.
Maybe him and Sean
Onision.
be friends, and maybe the spy collar is really fucking sharp. So please be careful.
Circle gets a square.
The cowboy hat and cock holster and the wand are all custom made, but the black Sabbath shirt is from Etsy. If he wants, you can customize him some more. He needs some pants. I had a hard time finding some that would fit.
He needs some pants. That's great. They're just excusing the fact they got him in the banana hammock.
And it's got like a big boner,
They,
too.
they found like an Aussie shirt that fits. They found all this other stuff. We're like, yeah, sorry, Josh, I couldn't find pants that fit, so you'll have to go out and find some. But we do have this banana hammock boner.
Yeah.
Perfect level
of trolling right here.
On it. If it doesn't fit, maybe you can give it to a lucky fan or something. Long live Ozzy Osbourne, fuck the trolls and fuck sickos. Your friend Alex Ford from Deathbed Tapes.
Hey, Alex.
Oh, it's
cheers.
the guy from his record label.
Thanks,
Interesting.
Alex. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, that's creepy.
This would be the vintage.
It looks like Howdy Doody.
I know, that was not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be one of those handmade ones that were like
the felt ones.
Yeah, Ricky Berwick and Boogie have these felt puppets that were handmade for them that look great. This is just creepy.
Beautiful. Your new album is dropping on the 28th for pre-order. So
21 and
that'll
up
be next
tubes.
week. Keep an eye out for that.
Josh says he'll only put the hat on Sean. Good. This Howdy Doody fuck puppet does not deserve the hat.
What else we got in here? Oh, check this out. Got a bell for my collection. I like
He has a bell collection.
For the bell tower that he eventually owns.
The Clock Tower Dream House.
Yeah.
Anyways. Who farted? Ha 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 ha. That's funny. The dummy in question. Shit, the collar is sharp.
There it is. Look at that.
Wait, he put the hat on this guy. He's trying to, at least.
There's the dummy he sent me. I'm trying to find some pants for him.
Is he packing a fucking cheese doodle in the front there?
Yeah.
The string is a little wonky, but we'll make it work. We could probably send him in and get him fixed up.
Is there a puppet hole for the finger to move the boner? When you...
That would be so sick.
That'd be lit.
That's too fucking funny. He's got a wand.
He's got 2 wands.
Okay. We got to get some Cobe's hair on there. We got to make him fucking bald. We got to make him give him the fucking facial hair, the glasses.
I put the hair on Sean, to be honest. I'm not going to lie.
You're already the redheaded stepchild.
$21 and up tubes.
Reverend Veritas says someone put time and money into making that, and Cobes doesn't give a damn because he can't drink or eat it. He said he would give the hat to Sean, his much more beloved puppet. They didn't make this puppet. They got a Howdy Doody puppet and made clothes for him, obviously. But it was also the guy that runs his record label. It's not just somebody. It's somebody he's in business with. He doesn't have to show ultimate appreciation to somebody he's in business with. Is he not going to use the puppet, though? He's not going to make it talk? You think it's an intimate relationship with a man and his puppet? He doesn't want to see Sean, have Sean see him cheating on him with another puppet? Is that why?
You should make them fuck.
That's what he had the blow up doll for. No, it wasn't blow up doll. He had the little tiny sex doll.
Yes, it
That's
looked
what
like
that was.
it looked
for.
like a little kid. He said it was fun
The one he
size.
fucking reamed into oblivion.
Yeah, nobody says like fun
Jesus
size.
loves you, but Satan always has better weed. Cheers.
Cheers,
You want them to
Frankie.
customize? I appreciate that.
Weed.
He does. Fun size is not in the Cobra commandments, right? Fun size is okay.
Sure.
Nobody's saying
Fuck sickos.
That's what's up.
You can have fun size humans and not be a sicko.
YouTube channel is being controlled by an AI generated King Cobra JFS. King Cobra JFS has died. God, my trolls are stupid. Holy fucking shit, YouTube. My trolls are fucking stupid. Rocking that t-shirt. Check out Deathbed Tapes. My new album's dropping soon. Check out Exhumed Visions. I got a little surprise in this here video, but we're gonna get into that as soon as we get some more people in chat. I have chat turned off so I can just focus on the live stream. I got a pet bearded dragon. His name is Puff, and he is just so fucking adorable, dude. The most badass little lizard you ever did see. My buddy Ian is moving, and he needed a place for Puff. So I volunteered, because I've always
Oh God, he's in charge of a living thing.
wanted a reptile. And turns out, bearded dragons are super easy to take care of.
You have to keep them warm.
Puff the bearded dragon.
I know when I get my album money, I'm going to be stocking up on bugs and calcium powder and light bulbs and little pellets.
I hope he keeps feeding the
Somebody send him bugs.
In fact, this
They
morning
don't live forever. You can't really stock up on them. That's the kind of thing like live food. He should stock up on non-live food for the bearded dragon too, but you can't really stock up on live food. You got to feed them to the thing. They'll die eventually.
You can maintain them though.
Yeah.
You throw like random.
But then you got to buy food for them.
Cobes might be able to cultivate his own bugs in that house.
in his enclosure, so I immediately cleaned
Yeah, we've
that
seen
out.
Just cut the lizard loose, and he'll
part of
fucking
having
eat
a
the bugs
pet.
roaming around now.
Well,
I've been really
Miss Green too is gonna have to be dinner for
Yeah.
Puff the bearded dragon.
Yeah, don't give it alcohol. Don't blow weed on it. All of that
depressed
shit.
lately since my family's oldest dog, Lily, died. All three of the dogs I had growing up in Valley City have now passed away. So
Oh, R.I.P.
I'm
Pups.
kind of blue about that, to say the least.
I don't like this close up on his face.
No, I
His
love
lips are
having
weird
Puff, dude.
color.
He's super easy to take care of. I've only taken him out of his enclosure once to watch an episode of Beavis and Butthead with me, and he pretty much just chilled out on the chair. And then towards the end of
Cobes
the
and a
episode,
bearded dragon watching Beavis and Butthead is the greatest image I've had all day. That's fucking
Start
beautiful.
saving your money now for when Cobra sells a bearded dragon glued to a
Oh
stick
my
3 weeks
God,
from now.
no.
Do you think that that's more likely than him putting it into like a boggerito?
No, I don't want any of that.
He might be like, "Oh, Puff, you were a great friend. I'm now gonna do a sacrifice of your body in a boggerito. We're gonna make a nice Puff-rito." He wouldn't do that.
he jumped into my lap and then stayed there for a bit and cuddled. And then he
Aw.
got down and started exploring the floor on the apartment. And then when he started,
He's gonna lose it or
to get a little
something.
bit colder.
I don't know.
From being out of his enclosure,
Probably,
I
but
picked him up and put him back in his.
I don't
in
think
his,
that's the default.
enclosure. So outside of that, I'm not going to be taking him out of his enclosure very often, just so he can get used to his new surroundings.
What if he like takes him out when he's drunk, falls asleep?
So yeah, I'm
Dude, I
not
don't
dead.
want-
Ignore my fucking trolls. They're morons.
What if he falls
fucking
asleep
love
and
Puff
wakes
to
up
pieces.
and Mr. Puff has made a home in his green cock holster? Cobes doesn't
Hell yeah.
realize it till he goes to
And he
pee and
thinks
gets
his dick
bit
got
on his
bigger.
finger.
We'll
Yeah,
put the live feed of the lizard as ingredients in the bogger too.
Dude.
I don't think that'll happen, but it's fun to joke about. I think Cobes loves this animal, and if anything bad happens to it, it will not be because Cobes tried to hurt it.
He's the coolest thing ever, dude. You know what I'm saying? I see why people
love
love
it.
bearded dragons. He's an older beardy, so you know he's not going to be like. He may not grow much bigger than what he is now. But yeah, dude, super cool pet to have. Up here at the
As
apartment
someone who has
complex.
kept bearded dragons, they are not the easiest pets to keep. They're fun little lizards, but they shit everywhere and require pretty detailed care plus.
Yeah, you
fresh
gotta clean their
water.
cage.
I hope he's okay, but I worry lol.
So, because they can't live if they're like surrounded, like buried in their own shit. So you have to clean their cage. You have to keep them fed. It has to be like a regular thing, like weekly.
Yeah, we'll have to get an update in a week and see how this thing's doing, and then a week after that, and a week after that, and we will every week we will judge Cobes accordingly.
If people have dogs, cats, pets are allowed up here, dude.
Yeah, and a pet in a cage is a different story than like a pet that like lives on the floor. You know, like they're not. It's not the same thing as like having a dog or a cat. So
Stephen Andrews says reptiles are all sacrifice and no cuddles. Did you not hear? He was cuddling watching Beavis and Butthead with it already.
Oh, my dad already knows about Puff too. You know what he told me? He said, "That's a cool lizard, bud. Be sure you do your research so you can take proper care of him." And I have been doing my research, spurging out like a motherfucker.
Using your superpower of Asperger's to research this Puff, the bearded dragon. I like it. Good shit, Cobes. That's what's up, Tubes.
Live in a couple days, so I figured I'd go live and show off my new bearded dragon. So if you like Puff the Dragon, then check out the newest t-shirt I have of my customized girl, King Cobra's Fang. It says, "Ain't nothing to puff with." That slogan was created by Ian. We were outside smoking a cigarette. And I said, "Dude, thanks for letting me have Puff. I want to take damn good care of him, man. He'll
hope
be the
Cobra
happiest."
gets trashed on stream and spills a container of live feeder crickets all over his
God.
apartment.
No. Yeah, at night they'll be chirping all night.
This lizard.
Dozens
He'll
of
live
crickets.
the longest life. And he said, "No problem, dude. I got first dibs on it, so that I feel privileged and honored, to say the least." I always wanted a reptile of my own to take care of. I've never exactly raised reptiles, so I needed something that was cool and easy to take care of. And Puff fits that category. Now, when I build my clock tower dream house, I'd love to have a Cobra, and those are a little bit more tricky to take care of. And for Wyoming law says I can own a Cobra legally, but they have to be devenomed, raised on pink.
Yeah, you could not handle having a king cobra as a pet. They shouldn't be pets, for one thing.
Total Drone says, "Who will be the first to become self-aware, lol cows or AI?"
AI.
Probably AI, but you never know. Maybe lol cows will have a reimagining of what it's like to be a lol cow. Maybe they'll take it back. And they'll just turn on TTS and let the don't need to talk shit come in.
And you got to fill out a bunch of paperwork for it. It's a pain in the ass. And it just seems like cruelty to the Cobra to
It is.
take out their venom sacs.
It is.
So I'm like, if I want to get my hands wet.
Jack Nicholson says, "Imagine the mustard soda squid mess elevated with live crickets."
Gross. They wouldn't be live when they go through the oven 4 times.
Well, that was a drink combo, so they'd probably just be like jumping in and out of the drink combo as he chugged it.
Reptile. You know, I'm always watching Chandler's Wildlife, watching him take care of his reptiles and just seeing how happy he is. Honestly, Puff makes me happy, dude.
Oh.
I wonder if we'll get like mealworms, because that's another live feed that can't like hop away.
Yeah, you can keep mealworms in the fridge for a while too, right?
Yeah, I used to feed crickets and mealworms to my hedgehog because they eat mostly bugs.
I need to get another extension cord so I can have one for my lathe, because the one I have for it I'm using for Puff's enclosure. He's got 2 lights, one that's built on top of his cage and another one that's requires a heat light bulb.
Yeah. They need
And
to be
I
kept
turn on
warm.
both lights during the day, but at night when I go to bed, I turn off the center lights and I leave his main desert lamp on so he can stay warm. And then when he gets tired, he'll just crawl into his enclosure. You know what I'm saying? I woke up this morning to Puff's claws scraping the inside of his hideaway, and I'm like, well, good morning, Puff.
I woke up to Puff trying to claw his way out of the fucking house. Good morning, Puff. Now, animals do scratch to get attention, probably to get fed and stuff. So
they burrow too, like a bearded dragon burrows.
The cool thing about bearded dragons too is they're super easy to take care of. They don't eat a whole lot, so they can go months without eating because they're desert-dwelling creatures. But that's not going to be necessary for me.
Please feed the.
And bugs are super cheap too, man. You get them at the pet store.
Yeah, they are.
Cobb's gonna start buying bugs for Puff, and he's gonna start cooking with them.
The bugs are gonna end up being his pets.
He's gonna start. I don't know. I think he'll eat them before he
King
pets them.
Cricket JFS. He's gonna change his name.
King Crybaby.
So we're letting the phone charge up. While I do that, I'll sit here and visit with you for a bit. And smash the like if you're excited to see Cobra's little sidekick.
I'm gonna smash that like. Smash the like here at Drunken Peasants if you're excited to see Cobra's little sidekick.
Years ago, we had a sponsor that was protein bars made out of cricket protein. And they sent some, and I tried it out. Like, you couldn't tell. I mean, it tastes like it was like chocolate, you know. But it was interesting. They are high in protein, so.
Yes.
But it was so processed that you couldn't even tell it was a cricket.
Yeah.
This means that even if only I have money for alcohol.
Crickets are the hot dogs.
This is important that he's saying here. I'll give him credit for this, but I want to see him actually practice this. But
this means that even if only I have money for alcohol or Puff's food or light bulbs, Puff is coming first. I love drinking, don't get it twisted, but Puff will give me an excuse to cut down on my drinking.
How many people do you think are gonna start sending him live food for Puff to the point where it's like way too much?
That's fine as long as he keeps feeding the animal.
Cobra's gonna like be getting shipments of crickets and fucking shit all day long.
Another important thing
Irish
is
gay bar, the gay lick.
Ew.
I just hope he also cleans the enclosure because like it's very unhealthy for them to like live in their own like piss and shit.
You know, not that I need one because I'm actually pretty good about maintaining that. I haven't had alcohol in like the last 3 days, and I'm content with that.
Nice.
My drinking only gets really bad around the holidays, like around Christmas time, because
Harry F. Callahan says, everyone in this panel and in this chat needs to eat something other than hot Cheetos for breakfast and wash their hair.
I washed my hair today.
No, we don't. If I wake up and have a nice bowl of hot Cheetos with Hidden Valley Ranch dressing for breakfast, I know my day's going to be good. And I don't need to brush my hair or wash my hair because I have the smell of Hidden Valley Ranch and hot Cheetos bellowing off my breath to cover up the grit and dirt of my hair.
I've never eaten hot Cheetos. Like literally, I've never eaten hot Cheetos. And I did wash my hair today.
Ben, one of us is lying right now.
not the biggest fan.
I don't eat junk food normally, so.
Got this here, recharge. This one-time use vape pen that I did a review on.
Josh, you vape?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was vaping. I saw him. Yeah, on a rare occasion, I'll buy some of those Tim's Hawaiian chips because those are really good. But
you like the regular ones or you get the luau barbecue
I like
spicy
both of
ones?
those. I like both of them, but because once I get them, I'll just eat them until they're gone.
Yeah.
So I stop myself from doing that, and I only get them.
The purple bag, the regular original ones are my favorite.
Yeah.
You ever have the like the onion ring versions too?
Yeah.
They're
I've had
still
those
not
too.
as hitting as the potato chips are. Those original purple luau kettle chips are so fucking.
I never saw those before I moved out here. Like in the places I've lived, that is not a thing.
Yeah, I think that they were originally here through Tim's Cascade, then they got further out. But you have so many competing kettle chip brands in different regions.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to make their way all the way out. Right now, Tim's Cascade does Sasquatch chips. I think they're the equivalent of the voodoo chips that you get from Zapp's. The Sasquatch chips are.
You know another thing, like when we were talking about Shasta the other night, I didn't have Shasta. We had Faygo instead. Like,
Yeah.
Shasta was not like a normal thing.
We didn't have Faygo here. Like some shops would like bring Faygo in, but we didn't have
It's like
Faygo.
an import almost.
Like Ezel's Fried Chicken would bring
That's funny.
Faygo in. And if you want to get a Faygo in Seattle, you probably have to go get a Ezel's Fried Chicken at a Faygo.
Which is crazy because that'll make it all expensive, and it's one of the cheapest things you could buy in the markets that it exists. It's like one of the cheapest soft drinks out there.
Now, when I go to have a cigarette or
Ohana Punch. Drink enough Ohana Punch, and your poop will turn red. You'll think you're bleeding rectally. I used to eat a pack of bagel bites and drink a 2-liter of Ohana Punch almost daily.
How'd your butt feel?
It was terrible because I worked at a Goodwill like donation center at one point where people just drop off their trash.
Yeah.
And one of the places I was outside just like sitting in a semi truck, like even during the winter, I'd be like outside sitting like in the back of an open semi truck, and I would like load things. And there was a grocery store just like across the parking lot, and I would buy bagel bites because they had a microwave. I'd buy bagel bites and microwave those and drink like a 2-liter of Ohana Punch, which is just Hawaiian. It's the
Did you ever
Faygo
get the
version
3
of
liters of
Hawaiian
Faygo?
Punch.
Did they make
Yeah.
3 liters? They did, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
We used to have 3 liters of something. I think it was called Big Fizz. They used to do 3 liters of something called Big Fizz, and they had Red Pop Big Fizz. I used to get the 3 liters of that shit, and I realize now I was killing myself, but I would drink these 3 liters of Big Fizz, 99 cents. I thought it was the best deal in the world. It was complete garbage. I wish I would have known more about nutrition as a child, because then I would have had more Brussels sprouts.
Did you ever have bagel bites?
Yeah.
The little pizza bagels?
They were usually too expensive in my household. If they were on sale, we would catch them, but more likely they would have those tiny little party pizzas on sale. So we'd have the Totino's party pizzas or whatever. They'd be like 2 for $1 or 89 cents for a little fucking dickhead pizza.
Yeah, like when I was in my early 20s, like living on my own for the first time, I used to eat the shit out of some bagel bites. Like when I was still in my picky eating phase, I would eat all kinds of bagel bites all the time.
I think my go-to when I was an adult and could buy my own shit pizza food from the freezer section was generic brand pizza rolls, because you could get 90 of the generic pizza rolls for the same price of 30 of the regular ones.
See, my mom used to buy these all the time, the Faygo variety pack. It was a cardboard box with a bunch of cans in like 4 different flavors that Faygo offered. Have you ever had Rockin' Rye? Rockin' Rye is like one of the cool flavors that Faygo offers that you don't normally find other places.
I don't know if I ever did.
It's really
Is it like ginger ale or what?
No, it's not ginger ale.
It's like root beer?
No, it's hold on. Let me.
We gotta get a flavor profile breakdown of Rocket Rye.
Let's see, Rocket Rye.
And do you think that the Faygo Red Pop is where you got into Delirium Red? Like you said, they taste similar, right?
Yes. Let's see. What is Rockin' Rye like?
Joe says it's almost a cola, but it has a bizarre berry flavor.
Yeah. So he's had it before. He knows what I'm talking about. It's unlike anything else.
You think Dr. Pepper is similar to that? When I think of a cola, rock and rye, I thought it was cool. Like
no, rock
like
and
it was
rye,
rocking,
like rock and roll, but it's rock and rye.
Was a medicinal medley of rye whiskey, rock candy, citrus, and herbs.
Oh wow, this is the like original or something. Okay, so this was like they're trying to duplicate the flavor of the original, which actually did have whiskey.
A light vanilla cream soda with a hit of semi-tart cherry flavor had nothing in common with the cocktail other than being a sugary liquid.
Okay,
the way they're describing this rock and rye makes me think of Cheerwine. You ever had Cheerwine?
No.
It's a southern beverage with cherry in it, and I do think it's we gotta look up Cheerwine really quick and compare it to Rock and Rye. That might be what Cheerwine came off of.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Joe says Cheerwine is similar.
I've seen this logo before.
Yeah, what's it say for the flavor profile of Cheerwine? Cheerwine has a mildly sweet flavor with strong cherry notes.
Black cherry.
Is burgundy colored, has an unusually high degree of carbonation compared to other soft drinks. Interesting.
I always get that with ginger ale. Ginger ale is so fizzy, it like tickles my throat and makes me cough.
I drink ginger ale today. I got a
have you ever had Verner's ginger ale?
No.
That's the shit I grew up drinking. Verner's.
I went to Whole Foods and they had this Zevia stevia sodas, and I got a Zevia ginger ale to go with my pathetic fucking chicken and vegetables.
Yummy.
So you can get a 12-pack of Rock and Rye from Walmart's website for $30.99.
For a 12-pack?
That's what it says, but maybe it's pricing me based on my location, which means they'd have to like ship it to me. I don't know.
You're gonna pud fuck my bung before you get me to pay $32 for a 12-pack.
Yeah.
I have this weird Warheads beer.
What?
You ever seen that?
No.
Yeah.
Looks like on Amazon, Rock and Rye 12-pack is like $20.
You gotta hold that up longer, Josh. Ben, have you had one of these yet?
For Wednesday and Thursday. It's
gonna be big, Egghead. Boners out for Egghead. This artisanal Warheads Extreme Sour Cherry Lime Sour Ale. You ever drink that, Ben?
No.
That looks interesting. I feel like, at what point are we selling to kids if we take candy flavored beer?
I think you can only get that liquor store straight up. I've never seen it like in a corner store or anything like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
I need some of that lithium 7-Up. I want that original old school lithium 7-Up.
Do you think we'll get back to a time period where they start making drugged up versions, like the original versions?
The original formula?
Like we break this prohibition on human
drugs
elixirs.
and soda.
Yeah, it's elixirs. These are elixirs.
They were like medicine. They were tonics.
Yeah.
Like
We
step
put a-
right up and get Dr. Pepper's Miracle Tonic.
We put a prohibition on them because people abuse them. Well, guess what? People abuse all fucking drugs that go through the proper terminals still. Can we get a fucking lithium 7-Up back? I don't mind if you abuse the fucking pharmaceuticals, but can I get my lithium 7-Up back while you do it?
Tobacco outside, I come back inside, wash my hands before I touch puff.
There are weed sodas now.
That's another thing he's doing.
He's a good.
See, he's not going to get his tobacco-stained fingers on Puff.
That way, we're being safe. I've been doing my research. That's a strong little vape pen.
It's probably running too
If
hot.
you like smoking pot,
I'm
but you
sad
don't.
I can't buy YJ Stinger anymore. I want to feel the sting.
I want to feel a sting. The YJ Stinger. That was just energy drink, right? It probably had something big in it, like ephedrine or something.
Oh God, pseudoephedra.
Probably from that time period.
Everybody, please like the stream if you haven't already. Also, just a quick reminder, we're doing 3 shows in a row this week. We want to make sure we meet the goal. If there's anyone out there that wants to send us a TTS, it's $5, and we'll respond to your message. I would like for us to maybe get to 25% before we end the show here. If you could help us out, that way we're not like coming in here on Wednesday and taking forever to meet the goal. Baby steps on our way up there. So yeah, the link to send it to us is pinned in the chat. If you want to send it,
I'll stop being so funny so you guys can chill with the laughing and start with the donating.
Smoking all the time. This will get you stoned. I purchased this marijuana vape pen locally at the Forbidden
Ding
Leaf.
dong, bitches.
You saw me do
Ding
dong, ding dong, baby.
a review on that on 420.
Whatever happened to him?
What, Egghead?
No.
Thick Soul.
Thick
Cheers.
Soul. There we go.
The ball, the egghead shaped guy.
Stephen Dawson.
Yeah,
he's still around out there.
We gotta pull him back soon.
Oh my God, we had him in Actual Mania a few times.
Yeah, we gotta get him back into the video spotlight. We should, everybody watching right now, if you have a historical DP figure that we talked about and we haven't brought him up recently, has been on your mind, send in some videos, some current videos, some new videos if they're still doing something, and we'll go bring back the fucking magic that once was.
I listened to a podcast Mercedes Carrera was on while she was in jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Was it the Gavin McInnes interview?
Have jokes.
I think so.
Yeah.
We had that on the
guy
show
who
then.
founded the Proud Boys.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Kajita's coin if you have jokes. Well, I have to stop the jokes so you guys stop laughing, Marcus Trinius. You're too busy laughing to pay Streamlabs today.
Like, yeah, I guess I died, YouTube, and Puff is arranging my funeral, so please send condolence money to my PayPal.
There you go.
King.
Good one.
Oh, my God, dude.
Is this an AI? Look at that vape. I don't vape. Am I a pussy?
No.
Trolls are like, you're too scared to go live. And I'm like, no one's asking you to go live. No one's asking me to.
I like vaping because, like, when I'm out in public, like actual smoking shit, like people really frown upon. But if I want to, like, take a hit, I can, like, go into the bathroom, and, like, take a hit really quick or whatever.
If there was, like, a safe vape that only vaped, like, flavors,
I
like
can
food.
multitask. Real talk, though, I think this might be good for Cobes. Caring for another being besides himself might help him to grow
I
in
hope
a
so,
positive
yeah.
direction.
He's
I
already
am
happy, at
tentatively
least.
Hopeful.
There are just vapes that don't have any drugs in them that are just flavored.
Can I get like a smoked turkey vape where I'm just walking around? I'm
Maybe.
like, ooh, that's smoked turkey. That's so good.
Most of them are going to be fruity, though.
See,
But
I
I've had
want
some savory ones.
I want like a nice meaty vape that just fills my belly when I'm hungry, but it's zero
It's
carbs,
not-
zero
it's not gonna
calorie.
do that.
Just,
go
just
live.
fill my
no one's
belly.
asking you to watch my lives. You don't like my videos, then don't watch. They were threatening to send me food, too, which I thought was kind of funny.
I looked up turkey vape, and I'm getting all this, like, Turkish tobacco flavored vape juice.
Shit, yeah. That's
Like,
why
how is that
a
threat?
smoked
There are
turkey leg
people who are
vape could
dying of
never
starvation
flourish.
and hunger in the world, and you're threatening to send me food if I go live. Thanks. This channel is being controlled by AI.
AI.
Stupid.
Oh, man.
Look at that, YouTube. Hey, Puff. How you doing, bud?
I wonder why his quality is so bad in this video.
This beast of a lizard is my new bearded dragon, YouTube.
You think maybe he uploaded it on a
This is using
shitty connection or
closure.
something?
I don't know if he's streaming and he just has a bad connection or, like, what this is. It seems like it's zoomed in too
And the
much.
food,
but it's very
and the
blurry.
bowl and everything came with it. These are the light bulbs that I get for the one up here. Now, at nighttime when he goes to bed...
Was this recorded
this
from
one
like a Discord chat or something?
I don't know.
turns off.
No, it was directly on his
Hawkeye
channel.
says this was a stream, yeah, so
Yeah.
his internet connection was just boo-boo from his phone.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, he's inside and he's not using Wi-Fi. He's probably using like 4 or 5G, depending on what's
And when he
available.
crawls into his hole right here, he just goes right to sleep. Bearded dragons, this is pretty much what they do all day. They lounge around and chill out.
Yeah, just
Oh, yeah.
soaking up the
I
heat.
love this lizard, dude. I want to keep him safe.
Well, that's nice. I hope he
He's gonna live
does.
the happiest and longest life.
I presently have the work ethic and motivation of a lobotomized sloth, and there is not enough caffeine, cocaine, girl boss vibes or positive energy in the perceived universe to change that, and yet, bills must be paid. Go forth and seize the day.
Carpe diem, my friend. Now, are you prepared to send your belt to Jespro, though, is the question.
Ain't nothing to puff with. Huh, Puff? Yeah.
Puff, puff.
He's gonna eat that lizard.
No.
I keep all kids safe. I keep all animals safe.
Do you? I remember him telling a story about how he gave a dog Mountain Dew. It's like, you should not give a dog Mountain Dew.
Who's that, Puff?
Why does the cage look so dirty?
I mean...
Smash the like for Bearded Dragons.
There's like shit all over the walls of the cage. I don't know what this is.
You think the cage is big enough?
Got lettuce.
Yeah.
It does look like it's
They don't
pretty
really need a lot of
spacious.
space.
He's got...
Usually they need like stuff like bedding to like dig into.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no bedding in
Yeah,
there.
I had a friend that had one of these and it laid eggs once. It was crazy.
Those,
none of them hatched because there wasn't a male there, but his female bearded dragon just like randomly laid a bunch of eggs.
silkworms the fan sent me in the care package with the sprinkle of calcium powder on top. He does take live bugs too, like these worms right in here. Also got a couple live worms in this one too.
You gonna put that in a boggerito?
But they don't eat much. They really don't. They're easy to take care of. They
Gotta
don't
give
eat
it
much.
water, gotta feed it, gotta clean its cage. If he just does those things, then it'll be fine. Well, yeah,
I
and
think he's
keep
gonna
the light
skip
on.
on the cleaning the cage. To be honest,
No, you have to clean the cage though. You have to.
I think he's gonna skip that. I can't imagine
not
him
good.
changing that part of his life.
And this is pretty much what they do all day, man.
I think
They
a
just
Cobra clean
lounge
cage is going to
around
be
and
different
chill
than
out.
most people's idea of a clean cage.
Look at it now.
Yeah, he should have cleaned it before he put the animal in it.
I moved his log in the center so it wasn't blocking his water dish.
Like usually when I had caged animals, I would, like take all the bedding, like once a week. I'd take out all the bedding, use a Clorox wipe to like wipe down like the bottom of the cage. Some of them were like in a tank where I had to wipe out the whole thing, but some of them, depending on the animal, had like a cage. And then I would just replace the bedding. It took like 10 minutes tops to even do it. It's really easy.
I would just get a bunch of sugar and pour it in the cage and let my dog lick all the dirt, shit, and sugar out.
Sweet.
That's a big fucking bearded dragon, dude.
It is pretty big. I was surprised how big it was.
Yeah, this is going to be really good for Cobes. Ricardo Noir says gnat infestation inbound. Well, then he's got his homegrown bugs to feed the fucking
Hell yeah, dude.
the puff. That's perfect.
It's not.
The apartment's gonna become a fucking ecosystem.
Yeah, you say gnat infestation. I say natural food option.
I'd rather help raise a bearded dragon than go out of my way to harass my trolls in real life, because unlike those sad losers, I have a life. They don't.
He does own their sad lives.
He's so handsome.
But that's what's new in my life. Releasing a new
Suck
album on the
thickos.
28th of this month. New rap album kicks ass. You don't even know.
You don't even know, though.
Cyrus getting his ass kicked, followed by some ass-kicking, face-melting guitar.
Yeah.
The Fuck Cyrax diss track is so good, dude.
Can't wait to hear it.
Is he going to have a music video for it?
That would be hilarious. Someone does need to help him produce music videos.
But thanks for tuning in to watch the video.
Sounds he makes.
Alive.
I'm very protective of that lizard.
Are you now?
Only took him out of the enclosure once since moving him in. Like I said, to watch Beavis and Butthead with me. He watched one episode.
He watched one episode. Only one of my pets that I've ever had actually watches TV, and that's my little dog. She watches everything on TV, and she waits for the moment that an animal shows up. Even if it's like animated, it doesn't even have to be a real one, and she just freaks the fuck out and like goes crazy. Sometimes she'll jump down off the couch and like charge at the TV.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
My dog Freezer always watched TV.
Yeah.
He would we would leave the Animal Channel on the house when we left so he'd have something to watch.
Yeah.
And started exploring around the apartments. And I'd follow him to make sure he was safe. And then when his body started to get a little cold, I put him back in his enclosure.
Oh, God, Cobra.
I'm really
There we
nervous
go.
for this bearded dragon.
Yeah, but we'll see. Hopefully he proves himself and all the trolls will eat their words. We'll see.
The trolls don't have to eat. They feed Cobra. Cobra lives rent free in their minds. They send him free food. Cobra's the one eating. Puff is going to be the one eating.
So, we are going to wrap up the show in just a minute here. I'm going to end up bringing back the post show next week, and we'll finish up that thing we were watching and decide what we're going to do next. I'd like your suggestions. If you're a $10 plus patron, make some suggestions on what you'd like to see us do on upcoming post shows for the $10 level. Another thing, if you're like, as soon as we end the stream, feel free to do this. Leave a comment, and I'll be responding to some of your comments through shorts coming up in the next few days. So,
Josh, I'm going to let you and Ben have a little bit of alone time because I have to pee.
Go for it.
He has to pee out of his butt.
That's all I know, baby.
I
don't even have a pee hole. I just fucking have an asshole. And
oh, so you're like a bird. Like birds,
Yeah, exactly.
Birds pee and poo through the same hole. That's why their poop is all like liquidy. Yeah.
I'm really sad that I think I've seen a pigeon pee shit more than 10 times in my entire life.
I've seen pigeons have sex. I was in a Wendy's drive-thru one time, and there was a whole bunch of pigeons, and all of a sudden this like big male pigeon that looked like it was on steroids came in and just started like banging the other pigeons, like the female pigeons. And pigeons have sex for like 2 seconds. Like the male just gets behind the female and like flaps his wings all crazy for like 2 seconds, and then it's over. Seriously. Have you ever
It's
seen
pretty
a
crazy
baby
where I'm
pigeon?
from. They'll fucking like puff up in like one area and everybody will avoid it for the whole day because it is fucking volatile. If these shit will fly right at you.
Yeah, it's something else.
What was your question though? I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon like out?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen like I've looked them up and seen them online, but I don't think I've ever seen a baby pigeon in person.
Well, they nest like in awnings and shit where I am.
Oh,
so like sometimes you'll like be climbing the stairs to get on a train or some shit, and then you'll see like the nests there. I've seen them fucking throw the babies out of the nest and everything.
It's interesting because pigeons are a type of dove, and they were brought over as pets originally. Like they were kept as pets, and they're invasive species. I'm not sure. I think they're from the Middle East originally, or something like that.
Really?
And they only really survive in urban settings. Like you don't see them out in the woods. Like they thrive where they can be almost like rats, where they like live off of like human beings, like living in cities. It's
they
interesting.
scavenge a lot.
Yeah.
I had a seagull like fucking swoop down and straight up take food from my hands as I was
Yeah.
eating it. So like the birds out here are fucking crazy.
When I lived in Ohio, we had seagulls there because of the lake. We would have seagulls, and they like to hang out in parking lots. Just like a big group of seagulls hanging out, because I guess from up in the air to them it looks like water. So you get like a big groups of seagulls hanging out in parking lots there. It was weird.
You think it's the water thing? I always figured it was just because fucking people congregate there and they eat like their little bits of food and shit.
But they would
you know?
they would never be on the grass. They would always be like in the parking lot, like all huddled together.
Because that's where all the food is.
Well, I mean, the food is in other places too. From what I was told, it was because from up there it reflects the blacktop reflects almost like water would.
So they get down there and they think there's water too because they're that dumb.
Yeah,
stupid.
They are stupid.
Stupid. They're no crows.
Crows are very smart.
Crows wouldn't pull that stupid shit. I seen a crow when I was out for a walk the other day. A crow was trolling an eagle. It was like flying and fucking with this eagle. I was like, man, that crow don't give a fuck. He's just trolling an eagle.
So
I'd eat a crow.
Would you eat a crow?
Eat crow.
Yeah, I'd eat a crow.
I don't know if I could eat a crow.
I feel like it would be like a Cornish hen or whatever.
Maybe. I don't think so. They're too elongated.
Who wants to give us one last dono to round us out to 25%?
That would be $29 if you guys are good at spending money and not good at math.
Okay. $29. If we can't do it, it's fine. But I'm glad we made this much progress. That's definitely what's up.
On a Monday?
Yeah.
On a Monday, that's how we know our audience loves us, Ben.
Yeah. They
That's,
do.
that's
They're
how I know
nice.
our audience loves Josh, too.
They love Josh.
Because if Josh sucked, there would be no donos. They'd be like, oh, actually, the donos that did come in would say you sucked, though, Josh.
Yeah.
That's how we know you don't suck. You were great. A lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. We'll see all you guys back here tomorrow, same time. You have a wonderful night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your... Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants.